There is the number 10 Bentley of Matt Bell, now fully returned to healthy 11, just a little bit further up the finish, in fourth position. There was a racing driver in the pit lane, he just needed to add water to get him back. Matt Bell, you see, you can pack him small and then just rehydrate him when you get to the track.
Put those little sponges.
Great.
Yeah. What we're watching here is a fascinating battle of two cars trying to drag themselves back into contention in and amongst the two race leaders. So the Aston Martin Vantage, driven by Darrell O'Young, a double winner of this race, leads the way. Between he and the car in second place, the number 15 Kangaroo, we're calling it Audi, driven by Marcus Winkelhock, is a fiery Irishman called Matt Griffin, and the guy that was second here last year called Maximilian Book. They're trying to drag back a lap and get themselves back one lap behind the race leader. Now, it might not sound like a massive difference, but I can assure you, being one lap behind is so much better than being 2 laps behind. The next safety car, they make up plenty of time, and then they become back in contention for the motor race. What Darrell O'Young has been told to do, and what he is doing successfully at the moment, is keeping them behind. That is a team that doesn't want any more people trying to challenge them for victory in the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 Hour. So it's a race of two at the moment. It's a race between the first and second place cars and two guys trying to get themselves into the final stage of this battle.
And the man who's stopping them from doing that's a very, very impressive stint from Darrell O'Young.
Yeah, I agree. And you've got two very, very good drivers behind them in Maxi Book in the Bentley and Matt Griffin, who of course has his own agenda. Both those guys do. Two Phoenix cars. Now here's something I'm going to throw out here, guys. Do you get those guys to start working together? They're not close enough to pick up the tour right now. Now here's something on the mountain straight. I just wondered if there was going to be a change on the track there to see if one car is perhaps feeling stronger than the other, and the 15 and the 16 might just swap around a little bit and see if they can do a little bit of aerodynamic drafting to help them along.
Yeah, perhaps, but I don't think we're too far away from stops either. We saw Marco Mappelli sitting down in the Phoenix bunker at the very end of pit lane, ready and rearing to go. So I'm not too sure you'd bother too much with that kind of stuff when you're a lap or two out from a pit stop.
True enough.
Aston, Ferrari, 1 and 2, up to Reed Park, through Solomon Park, across the top of the mountain. There's the metal grate, and towards McPhillamy, best bit of racing tarmac anywhere in Australia, and if you talk to some of these drivers, possibly in the world.
Yeah.
And Darrell O'Young doing a superb job out in front. This guy's raced just about everything, and a huge build-up to this event. Massive job, rebuilt both cars from ground up, and it's been a big weekend for the team as well. The 97 car's been pretty much trouble-free, touch wood for them so far. The 99, the sister car, has been through, well, to the ringer and back, let's be honest, involved in a big crash on Friday. Had a huge job to put a new front end in that car, straightened it up, got it back out there. It's had a couple of issues early in the race. It currently sits 23rd with Jean-Marc Merlin behind the wheel.
Yeah, great to see that we've clocked up over 200 laps already and still got a shade under 3 hours to go. Now the Donut King Lotus is in the mix as well, as is the number 50 Porsche. This is danger time for Darrell O'Young. He has to pick his line. He has to watch what's going on, not just behind him, but also ahead of him. Where's Matt Griffin? Answer picking his way through. And the Bentley still there as well, but this is the opportunity, surely, for the Phoenix cars. Not through the middle. Surely it can't be done. For Christopher Haase, well, he's having a wee look at us at the moment, but just not able to get through. The 32 sitting further back down the running at the moment, 10th position. Steve Owen at the wheel of that car.
So they've just dropped a little bit behind the leaders, but they're now only a lap and a half back. So the next time there's a safety car, and as much as we don't particularly want one, it's almost inevitable that they will be given the record number we've had so far today. They then find themselves plenty of time and start to get themselves back into contention.
Mark Catterall has tweeted to us using the hashtag B12HR. I don't know where you are in the world, Mark, but I'm suggesting it's not in Australia, as it sounds a little bit of a sleepy tweet, but he's saying, who needs sleep? Epic Racing, and this, by the way, is a T-shirt. Mark Catterall, TM. Who needs sleep? Epic Racing is caffeine for the soul. Love it. On board with the Lambo.
Back in 10th position, the Lamborghini Gallardo. And next target for Steve Owen is Jean Bal. And the number 8 Flying B car. You can see that just ahead.
Which is the white Bentley taking up the left-hand side of the road, going underneath the Pettus Bridge and up towards Griffin Bend. He's just not quite close enough, but gee, that Lambo's good on the brakes. Up into Griffin Bend and heading up the hill here.
Pulled some time out of Bell last time round as well, so Owen ticking off the laps in car 32. We ride on board left of screen, we see him. Right, there is Steve. Hugely experienced around this place, and a good get for Roger Largo, the team owner here.
Agreed.
A great story yesterday in qualifying when they qualified on the front row. David Russell did the time, but great team performance. It's a little outfit from Brisbane. Most of the guys that work on this car are part-time, if only race weekend guys employed by Roger to run it. Not really any full-time staff. It's not a professional racing car team. Taking on the might of the factory Nissan and factory Audi squads that were either side of them in the press conference yesterday afternoon. And it really shows that GT3 racing can be a great leveller. You've got smart people. It doesn't matter if you're a mega budget factory team or a little outfit from a suburb in Brisbane, you can contend.
We need to be looking back at the battle for third, fourth and fifth position, because Matt Bell has taken the opportunity of the delay behind the two battling cars to pull right back onto the rear of both of the Phoenix Audis. There is a bit of a timing glitch at the moment that's affecting the 16 car, I think it was. But Matt Bell is right back with them, and this is a three-car battle now for second position between the 16 and 15 Phoenix Audis and young Matt Bell in the number 10.
Yeah,
Motorsport Bentley.
Yeah, we're not quite getting the split times. If you're watching back home and wondering why things are changing around, that is a bit close for comfort, and that is the St. Gallen car battling for its class honours as well. Got to have respect here, guys. Everybody is battling something. It might just be for a finish, or in the case of that Aston Martin there, it might be for a class win.
Big commitment from Owen there. He committed early and stayed the course. There was no hesitation. And that was the difference between that becoming a crash or not. He committed to getting the car in the corner. Had he backed out of it, there's every chance he would have clipped the rear of that grey Aston Martin St. Gallen entry and turned it round and caused everybody a whole lot of drama.
Big call out for the crowd here at Bathurst who have enjoyed this great racing from Friday practicing qualifying through the shootout yesterday and the record-breaking run, and now some 9 hours and 10 minutes into the race. It's huge at the bottom and at the top. Hello to everybody around the circuit here who I know are listening in. And here is the move. This is the one we've been waiting for. Side-by-side action again. And Bentley's going down and being able to tough it out, coming into the kink. And that is second place, changing over. You saw it there. And Matt Bell has done the deed. That's a great drive back from the young Brit.
That's from fourth to second place in about a lap and a half from Matt Bell.
In the midst of a whole bunch of lap traffic too. This is a great drive, and the Bentley, as the race has gone on, has really come alive. It's got better and better and better, and so too has this guy, quite literally, because early on in the race he was pulled from the car.
Down and out.
He was down and out, and a bit of heat exhaustion and some real issues.
Maxi Buck into the pits. That's great news for the other Bentley, because Matt Bell now doesn't have his teammate to have to get out of his way.
And now we've got an extended green flag run too. We start seeing the relative fuel economies of these cars every stint so far interrupted by safety cars, and on average we've seen 35, even 36 laps of late, but because of all the yellow and the cruising around, now I don't think it'll be that long on fuel.
We have not had a full hour of green flag racing all meeting in any category, let alone the main class, and we're about, I think, just to get into that now.
I think, guys, we've got the top 6 cars at the moment. After an extended green flag running, 8.5 seconds between the top 6. 8.5 seconds between Daryl O'Young and Wolfgang Verreep, who at the moment I think is 6th position in the Nissan. And closing.
Yeah, this is going to be a heck of a finish as Maxi Burke comes into the pit lane. The other Bentley, the number 10, the M Sport car, with Matthew Bell at the wheel.
Interestingly enough, just one lap between the two Century Batteries GT3 class competitors. The Superbarn Supermarkets Porsche with Theo Konduras behind the wheel continues to lead the Grove Racing Porsche, who are on the comeback trail after some dramas earlier in the race. They're back up to second in class now. They're running 18th and 19th overall. In front of them is Adam Gowans in the number 93 Mark Cars Australia Focus V8. However, there is some stuff going on there, and they were given a black flag and ignored it. They went through the 3-lap window you get to take that black flag. As a result, they will be subject to a post-race hearing. And I'd suggest if it goes against them, they'll have the equivalent of a drive-through penalty, if not more, imposed on the number 93 car. At the moment, though, Adam Gowan's behind the wheel, 17th in the Recaro Invitational class, and doing a great job in the Mark Cars Australia entry.
Sorry about that, Krelsey. Just got a shot with the smiling eyes of Stephen Kane. He's getting ready to climb aboard and will be taking up the fight. But this is a great drive, both from Darrell Young in the lead of the race and Matt Bell and the number 10 Bentley. 3.9 seconds scored across the line. It doesn't look like that now.
No, it certainly doesn't. And I still just can't get over how gentle it looks behind the wheel of that Bentley. I remember going up to Crewe and talking to Brian Gush and Malcolm Wilson about this car when it was first mooted, and then seeing the first cars when they were released, and it was built to be comfortable for gentlemen drivers, and it seems that pro drivers like to be comfortable too. Shea Adam is down in the pits.
Big problems for one gentleman driver in the paddock, John. The number 75, Steve McLaughlin, has no radio communication. He didn't do his driver plug-in correctly, and they started off with a sign that said 75 driver plug. That didn't work, didn't get his attention. So they've now moved to this, hoping that it will get his immediate attention because his fuel is starting to run low. So he must pit soon. On the other hand, the team car, the 74, the team wasn't expecting it to pit, and it came in a couple laps ago. Alessandro Latif behind the wheel. They very professionally got that car turned around and back out onto the track with no issues. Now all the focus is back to the 75.
Thanks, Shea. Old school.
Absolutely.
It's one thing that you get into the habit of when you drive in the lower categories, of just looking for your pit board every time, and having radio is a bit of a novelty for some people, but clearly they're having to go back to the old ways. There's nothing wrong in that. They'll be hitting me over the head with the pit board if it keeps going through and runs out of fuel on top of the mountain. That would be a bad one, wouldn't it? We're into the last 2 3/4 hours. Matt Bell chasing back Darrell Young. It's the Battle of Britain at the head of the Liquid Moly Bathurst 12 hours. It's live and free here on 7. Wyman taking the wild ride at the end of the Michelin chase there, and just about getting away with it, but not. This is the final corner again, Maguire Murray's corner, and the safety stop car, which had its incident early on when it was being passed by the leader. Now, is this another Audi that's had something to do with the car? It is. It absolutely is. It's almost a carbon copy. There's no touching there, but the 6 car pulling offline from the Century Batteries GT3 category, the Porsche Cup class.
Please don't let it be Gardner again in the car.
No, you know it's going to be, isn't it? Who is it at the wheel of that? That's a good question. We'll check down for you.
Aaron Serafos, yeah.
It's got to be a safety car, because that's not coming out there. And we were just speculating that the Bentley might need a little bit of help. The number 10 Matt Bell car, and out comes the full course caution. 2 hours and 41 minutes to go, with about an hour's worth of running. If you don't have to be Einstein to work out where the pit stops have got to come. There's Matt Bell, looking much better than he did last time. He's got the cooling vest on there, and he's rehydrating.
And just for a moment there, I did think he'd got a rather strange haircut, but it's not. It's the damp flannel on the head. Well done, Matt.
All the leaders are in pit lane. Darrell Young pits the Craft Bamboo Aston. There it is, getting fuel and a driver change. Marcus Winkelhock is in. Christopher Husser is in. Matt Griffin pitted the Clearwater car. He was in that leading battle. The Class C leader is in too, the Aston Martin St. car. You can see it just in front of this shot of the Auto Art sponsored Craft Bamboo car. Fire it up, everyone over the line. And, they had to hold it. They had to hold for the Sherrin car. Now he goes.
And stalled it.
Oh, big hesitation there. That will cost them some time.
Better that than running into the car in the pit lane, though, Krillsy. That would have been potentially damaging, and they would have got a penalty for it as well.
In also comes Penny Simonson up to 8th position. The number 49 Vicious Rimmer Ferrari, and second in the AM class. Still led, of course, by Wolfgang Reep and the 35 Nissan.
Now, this has been a good stint from Wolfie Reed. We've seen nothing of the Nissan for the last 45 minutes, but it's kind of a good thing because they've just been circulating and running around. Really good job. A great stint from Benny Simonson. Mark Beretta has more on that.
Speaking of great stints, what about this guy, Matt Bell? He's one of the heroes of the day. Matt, what an up and down day you've had today.
Yeah, just a bit. The old Aussie weather is taking its toll on me a bit more than I thought. I had a little bit of a problem in the first one. I got a blocked water tube, so I had no fluids at all for the first double stint and ended up having to get out a little bit early ill, but managed to survive that one just about, and it seemed to go all right.
Seemed to go all right. It was fantastic. So what a recovery from being dehydrated. You rehydrate, you get back in the car and you drive a stint like that last one. I mean, everyone in the garage here is congratulating you. That was some stint.
Well, you don't really have a choice. You know, you get given such a great opportunity for Bentley, you have to turn up and perform. This is a proper team. M Sport Bentley, the car's fantastic, the team's fantastic. I have to be fantastic. There's no two ways about it. So hopefully we can keep it going.
Everyone who's watching the telecast is wondering what that Bentley is like to drive. Can you describe it for us?
Oh, it's fantastic. Especially, it's just such a rewarding track for it because through high-speed stuff, it's brilliant. And all that high-speed stuff there, going through, you know, from 4 to 10, is just phenomenal to drive this thing. And then, of course, you got the beastie motor, the V8 under the bonnet there, pushing us down the straight. So this is a great track for it. It's brilliant to drive.
Matt, are you done now, or will you get back in?
I think the plan is to get back in again. So, but we'll see how it goes.
And how good does that ice vest feel right now?
It's still pretty warm. I think I'll be going for a cold shower.
Good on you, mate. Well done today. Great effort.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to hear someone talking proper Queen's English. Comes from my neck of the woods up in the northeast, although we're separated by cultural and religious differences. Soccer clubs, our daggers drawn. Newcastle United for Matt Bell and his brother Bob, Sunderland AFC for me. But when we're abroad, of course, we all flock together and put those things aside. Fantastic, well done, Matt. I have no problem in saying that to him. He's really pulled it out there for Bentley and given them a hope. Came in second position. We've got 2 hours and 37 minutes to go, and it's now that the back timing of fuel strategy starts to come into play. And you can come back here on 7 to see how it plays out at the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 Hours for 2015. Bathurst, classic motor racing venue, providing excellent entertainment for us here on 7. Hello there, it's John Hindhaugh, Richard Craill, and the editor of dailysportscar.com, Graham Goodwin, overlooking the last 2.5 hours or thereabouts of what had been a gripping motor race. Yes, interrupted in terms of the flow by the intervention of the safety car. Kind of expect that here at the mountain, that there's going to be some incidents. But what we have is a top 6 that is chock full of talent and brands that we would all kill for to have on our drives. Richard Muscat leads the motor race in the Erebus Mercedes-Benz, with Wolfie Reef in second place for Nissan and Alex McDowell for Aston Martin in third. And there's all kinds of strategies playing out. We're now getting into the area where people are working out how many pit stops they're going to have left. Graham.
6 Porsche made it back to pit lane. That means lights are out on the safety car by the look of things, and I think we're going to go to green flag racing this time around, boys.
And the track temperature is 52 degrees Celsius. It's just starting to drop a little bit. The ambient 33 from Michelin down there on the pit lane, and thanks for that information.
Pirelli up against it too, yet to win at Mount Panorama, so they're in the box seat today to try and get their first Bathurst victory. So it's a great tyre war between the two competing brands. They're fighting it out at the front. It's not just the teams and drivers battling, it's the tyre brands as well. So Richard Muscat will lead the field back to green. A couple of cars duck into pit lane. I think the gap there will be okay because there were cars pulling out of the queue to dive into the pits. We're back to green, and it's Richard Muscat leading the field through. Wolfgang Reed second in the Nissan. Alex McDowell is back behind the wheel of the Craft Bamboo Aston Martin. There it is, being passed finally by the Clearwater Racing Ferrari. The problem is, it's not for the lead, and very, very wide into that corner went the 99 car, the sister Craft Bamboo entry. The 97 goes past, but McDowell there just a little bit slow on the restart. The 99 car doing the right thing. The sister car getting out the way. In the background, you can see the bright yellow lights of Marco Mappelli in the number 15 Phoenix racing car.
It's the third placed Aston Martin that is just tucked up at the moment behind the Number 8, Bentley, sitting a lap off the lead, but only down in 8th position for JP and the rest of the team. And again, the cars that are intermingled there, there's no pulling out and waving by, pass-arounds or anything like that. Let's get back to racing as quick as you can. And guys, sort yourselves out. And actually, I kind of quite like that, if I'm honest. We're heading into the last 2.5 hours, and it is a brilliant variety of machines at the front of the field. And don't forget, we're battling in the classes as well. The Clearwater Ferrari now under a little bit of pressure. The 33 car with Matt Griffin sitting just a lap or two off the lead, and he's down in 11th position. And he's got that 97 car of Alex McDowell right there as well.
Just trying to smoke pouring off my laptop as we try and work out the race strategies in
come
this
on,
race.
Tell the viewers the truth. And you've got an abacus there.
Yeah, correct. And what we can see at this point is that the 36 and 35 cars are on a slightly different strategy to the ones behind. So those, the Erebus Motorsport SLS and Wolfie Reap, was that drama.
That's the 93 car. The 93 car, we got a quick shot off.
Oh, massive crash.
The 91 of this was the Mazda, the Mark car, and that is at the top of the mountain right next to the 7U Skyline, and that is surely more than one car has been involved in that, or has he just hit the wall so hard that it's destroyed the back of that car? Now, they are panels that are meant to deform and come off, so that looks bad. This is the Recaro Class I car that's been vying for the lead with the 93 Mark Cars Australia team car, the one that's shaped like the Focus, and no movement at the moment, but it will be a safety car because of the severity. Look at the right-hand side rear has been ripped off. That is a rear drive car, and the drive shafts are I'm afraid, visible there.
Ivo Bruca's behind the wheel too, so second in class. Unfortunately for him, that's the second time he's found the wall here today. That's a big impact there at McPhillamy Park. Skated across the top of the gravel trap too and made big rearward contact with the wall, tyre barriers on the outside. So we'll see if we've got a replay for you, if we can. Another safety car in what's been a bruising day here at Mount Panorama.
And another Mazda with issues up on the run-up to Griffin Bend. That's one of the Tube Frame RX-7s, the former Speed Sport car, the Patrick Dempsey racing cars from the States and Grand Am. And that car's come to a dead halt as well.
I think that's going to be the 43 car, John.
They've had a tough day, haven't they, Henley Racing, with their pair of Speed Source built Mazda RX-8 GTs, bought out of the States last year, ran them in local sports sedan competition for much of last season, had a great time with them. It's their first real endurance race since coming into local hands.
Scott Fitzsimmons, who is up on the mountain.
So that's good news. Driver got out. That is the best possible news we can get from that kind of an incident. Thanks to everybody keeping us aware. Here's a look. Oh no, down the inside. One of the Phoenix Racing cars, the 16, and that is a monster crash.
Oh dear. Well, if the race control follows protocol, that's going to be at least a drive-through for the 16 car. If you give that to the Bentley earlier on for the one at the chase, you've got to give it there as well.
We spoke all day today about risk minimisation.
And that was Felix Baumgartner.
And not taking chances when you're lapping cars slower than you, because there's no point. And unfortunately, it ends up in things like that.
And just unluckily hits the unguarded part of the concrete wall. There's so many tyres, you'd think it would be harder to hit the wall than anything else. And of course, the Law of Swords says that's exactly what happens.
Pictures actually now of Ivo walking away from the car.
Well, that's the best news that we can give.
Quick shot of Keith Kasuki there, co-driver of this car. Great guy, Australia's busiest racing car driver. I think raced 30 times last year in a couple of different series. The Mark cars, he does the endurance program with them. He races a big Ford Falcon in the Touring Car Masters series and is very, very competitive in that. In fact, he was racing that car in New Zealand last weekend. Came straight to Bathurst for this one. Well, it shows the strength and the integrity in which these Mark Cars Australia cars are built and designed. And I think Paul Sepranich up at Pace Innovations on the Gold Coast, I'm not sure if he's here this weekend, I imagine he probably is, would be a very, very happy man to see that his chassis stood up to the impact, and Ryan McLeod, who helps run these cars. So let's head down to pit lane with one of the great stories of the day. Car 49, the Vicious Rumour racing team, have been doing great things, and Mark Beretta has more on that.
Yeah, they've been chipping away beautifully, and I'm with former
Formula One driver Andrea Montemini. Andrea, great to see you back again. We were just watching that accident, and as you described it, that was one of the bigger accidents you've seen in a pretty illustrious career.
Yes, it's quite big. I hope the driver will be okay, and I wish he's okay. But the shunt is quite big, so we see what's going on.
Now let's talk about your day. You guys you're chipping away there very nicely, sitting in 8th spot. You've sort of flown under the radar a little bit today.
Yes, we had a very bad day yesterday. Actually, we didn't make anything, no qualify, nothing. So we started at the very back of the field, and we grow up quite quickly, and we are in the top 10 now, and we are second in our class. So I think it's a huge job for the moment for the team. Tony, De Felicis really deserve all this, and we are trying to make our best.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great effort. Fantastic to see you back here, because we haven't seen you here since 2003 in the 24-hour race.
Yes. In fact, I had the chance that time to come in with a Ferrari, with a 360, and I did love the circuit straight away. I thought it's one of the great circuits in the world I've been. So I said, okay, I would be very happy if I can have a chance to come back.
Now, Andre, I've got to ask you, how good is this circuit? How do you rate it against all the incredible racetracks you've been on around the world?
It's very good. Let's say up of the hill is very challenging, and also you don't have to make any mistake, because that's going to cost you a lot. So, but this is like Monte Carlo. I mean, you know that if you make a mistake, you are in a wall.
Oh, great to have you here. Good luck for the rest of the day. I know you're going to bring it home strongly.
Thank you. We try.
Good to see you. Okay, let's go to Shea further down the lane.
Keith Kasulki, you're one of the drivers of the car with Ivo Brukers, who is involved in that massive shunt. Now, you haven't heard from Ivo yet, but we were hearing down the line that he was out of the car. Best news of the day. But that was a massive, massive hit.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad. That's probably as bad as it gets. Yeah, I hope Ivo's all right. He's, as you said, out of the car, so he'll be pretty well shaken after that. It's pretty sad for the crew. They worked all night to repair the car after the shunt at the cutting yesterday. But yeah, what a wonderful crew. So well, let's hope he's all right, and that's our race finished. But fantastic crew. We worked very hard today to get up to where we were at P20. Looking forward to a good finish. But anyway, it's happened. We'll regroup now and get these cars repaired.
And come back next year, right?
Absolutely, we'll be back next year, yeah, for another shot at it. Hopefully with not so much bad luck.
Best wishes with Ivo Brukers.
Yeah, Keith and Ivo had a good chat with them on Friday evening, and our best wishes to Ivo. All right, again, we have the opportunity to go away from the mountain without missing any action. The clear up, as you can see, is underway. The flat tray is there. Don't go too far away, because we will get racing underway quite quickly after this, and there'll be more action, hopefully not so much incident, from Bathurst at the Liqui Moly 12 Hours 2015. Well, this safety car period enabling the cars to take service without losing too much track position, and here at the Mount Panorama Early Season Classic, the 12 Hours, the Liqui Moly 12 Hours, it is also the time when the calculators are out. If you're a little bit further back down the field, you've got the choice now to play it safe or roll the dice. We're coming into the area where it is 2 more pit stops from here to the flag for the cars at the front. They can run just around or just over an hour of green flag racing. Now, we haven't had an hour of green flag racing thus far. So do you gamble that you will get some more safety car running in the last 2 hours, or do you stick to what you think might happen? It's a tough one. Pat Long, as well as being a very good driver, is also a shrewd tactician and student of the sport. Be interesting to hear what he thinks the chances of the 12 car in 7th position. Here's Mark Peretta.
Working away gradually all day, again, sort of staying under the radar a little bit, Pat. It's sort of all going to plan, isn't it? You're putting yourselves in a good position.
Yeah, we are. Unfortunately, Chris got hit in his last stint, so our exhaust is bent. We've lost about 10K down the straightaway, but other than that, the car's on rails. Over the top of the mountain, I finally got my head around Bathurst, so I had a lot of fun. That was a 2 hour and 40-minute stint, so my feet are a little bit hot, but luckily the training got me through on the mental side, and we'll see what we can do now.
That's a beautiful feeling to know that you've mastered this place.
I wouldn't say that. That would take a lot more than what I've done, but at least now I can feel a rhythm. Really enjoyed it. I would almost go on the record and say this is the best track in the world. It's so much fun.
You can say that. We'll accept that. But what's the expectation from here? You're sitting 7th at the moment. How far up can you get?
Listen, we're trying to get a lap back. We thought we might have had it there with the Nissan and the Mercedes ahead of me. I didn't want to fight them and hold them up, but sure enough, they were the 2 cars that ended up between us and the safety car. So we were hoping they were going to come in for fuel. We didn't get that call. In the end, it's going to be a pretty brutal race on the 1 lap down, just to hold 7th. So we'll see if a little attrition could bring us to top 5.
Okay, you got a bit over, 2 hours to go. Can the car hold out okay?
Yeah, look, it's down on power, but other than that, it's solid. It's a Porsche 911, so they just keep going. They're like sewing machines.
Good stuff. Well done, Paddy.
Pat Long, busy season of GT racing for him, and great to see that he's dialing himself into this classic circuit. It's going to be a little while before we go back to green flag racing, so we'll step away just for another moment to get you back, hopefully at around about the time that the green flag is back in hand on the start-finish line here at Bathurst for the Liquid Moly 12 Hours 2015. Live and free on 7, it's the Bathurst Summer Classic, the Liquid Moly 12 Hours. John Hindhaugh, Richard Craill and Graham Goodwin, the editor of DailySportsCar.com, in the booth. Down in the pit lane, Mark Beretta and Shea Adam working up and down, patrolling the pit lane for us. And we're coming back to green shortly after that frightening-looking accident for Ivo Breukers in the Mark Cars Australia Mazda 3 V8. Helped off the road by Felix Baumgartner. More than a little love tap there, I'm afraid, as Felix went for a very low percentage move at the top of the mountain. But what we have got now is a situation, Crailsey, where we're coming not that far away from the 2-stop window for the top cars to get to the end of the race with just 2 more pit stops. And this is where the team manager earns his corn. They're in overdrive right now.
We need to find out, really, from the teams in pit lane exactly where the Erebus Mercedes is at. That, for me, is the big question mark, because they're running a slightly different strategy, both they and the number 35 Nissan, first and second on the road, compared to the cars in 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. They are, respectively, the Aston Martin, the number 10 Bentley, the number 16 Audi and the number 15 Audi of Laurent Verntor. So I think when the Mercedes pits is when this race starts to work itself out with how we go to the end. We're back to green flag conditions at Mount Panorama. Richard Muscat again leads the field to the green flag.
And the longest green flag period we've had is 1 hour and 5 minutes, at just after the 2 hour 7 minute mark. So how does that affect the strategies up and down pit lane? 3 cars abreast as they come across the line, and that is the Baumgartner car cutting down onto the inside of Hell Corner. The 16 car sitting in 6th position. A little bit of a timing glitch there. Two teammates absolutely side by side behind them.
That's for position 2, 14th and 15th, 213 laps apiece. So they're 3 and a bit behind the leaders, but the 2 JMEC PEM Racing Audis are trading paint with 2 hours to go in the motor race and swapping positions as they run up to turn 2. Great racing.
Unfortunately, they did it over the line, and I'm not quite sure that's going to work for them, because they most certainly overlapped as they crossed the line under the green flag with a slower car in front of them.
It's embarrassing to do it with another car. To do it with your teammate, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? So 2 hours and 10 minutes to go in the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 hour. It's been a tough day at the office, but we've got a race that's set to play itself out with 6 cars on the lead lap and 6 cars all capable of winning this motor race.
Absolutely, Krilsey.
There's 4 of them.
And there it's interesting how the strategies have played out so far. Clearly, with the intervention of the AMG Mercedes-Benz safety car, it has messed up everybody's green flag strategy, but you've got to just keep adapting. Stick with what you've got or change it up. That's the question. Wolfie Reep, second place. The leader is that dark-coloured car ahead going down Conrod straight up over the rise and heading back towards us now. And Reep closes in. He's not going to be close enough to get the draft here, but he's got the power and the top speed. Absolutely flat out through the King, down into the Michelin Chase. Super late on the brakes by Reep as he comes down through the Michelin Chase and under the Liqui Moly Bridge down to Maguire's Murray Corner at the end of the lap. And all of a sudden, target acquired mode for Wolfie Reep. And I just wonder if Richard Muscat is struggling a little bit on the brakes.
If I'm leading this race in the final 2 or 3 laps and I've got this car behind, I would be a very worried human being, because that thing is an absolute rocket ship at the moment. And Wolfgang Reep is driving it very, very well. Who do we put in that car at the end, do you think? How much driving time has Chio-san got left? Florian Strauss did a good stint early on today. He was second in the car.
Yeah, but then he had a big break. He had a very, very big break until he just got in and out of the car.
I don't think it matters, because all 3 of those guys have been very, very fast. So I'm not too sure it's an issue. I think that's the last of their problems.
At the minute, they're doing rock, paper, scissors at the back of the garage to find out who wins that one. It is a problem, I think, for Muscat's pace here, because not only the Nissan dragging back towards it, but also the other Erebus Mercedes, I think, is out there as well. They're getting a little closer.
I think, though, they are going to have to stop possibly 10 or 15 laps earlier, somewhere around that mark, than the cars in 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place. And that's going to make their life perhaps difficult in the closing stint of the race. Although, from this very point on, if everyone had full tanks, they should be able to get to the finish with 1 more pit stop. Correct. But they don't. That's the problem. So the question is, we think the 36 and 35 cars got less fuel than the 97 and the 16 behind them. The question is how much? When do they pit? And how long can they go into this race? Can they do it on 2 more stops, or will they need a splash at the end?
Well, we're in the window, as you say, and this is where the brain calculation begins to go into overdrive for the guys on the, just as much talent in the pit box as there is behind the wheel here. And in endurance racing, it is a team event. The sunshine just beginning to come round into the booth here, and that means it'll be in the driver's eyes going down to Hell Corner, turn number 1. The heat on the racetrack up above 50 degrees Celsius and 33, 34 degrees Celsius in the air. This is now settling in. Let's hope that we get a good long run here and to get some green flag pit stops to really shake this up.
Right back in the pace too, Hindy. First lap back, 5.6 for Muscat, 6.2 for Reep. Good pace from the Erebus Merc, 6.9 for McDowell in 3rd place in the Aston.
Don't count out that Aston yet either. That has been a really interesting run from the 97 car. Board with the 32, down in 8th position.
Got some ace support behind the scenes. I think you mentioned it earlier on today, but John Russell helping out behind the scenes, hugely experienced team manager and engineer, and also Mick Ritter from Sonic Motor Racing, one of Australia's top race car teams in Formula Ford and open wheel racing and Porsche Carrera Cup 2, really giving some operational strength to the Largo Racing team, who have gone further than they have in all 3 of the previous Bathurst 12 hours combined today.
So just mentioning the classes, the Century Batteries GT3 class being led at the moment by Sam Power in the Superbarn Supermarkets 47 Porsche, and he is up to 17th position and just 5 laps off the lead of the race. Obviously, we'll keep our eyes on how that is developing as we head inside the last couple of hours in 5 minutes' time. There is nothing more spectacular than watching an onboard lap from the mountain.
Erebus Merck stopped, as far as I can tell, on 190. And there's been a lot of safety car in then, which would explain quite a long stint. But you'd think with 218 laps in the books now, we're approaching 30 laps. The window today has been somewhere between 30 and 35 due to all the safety cars. So you'd think there's probably another 15 laps before the 36 car has to pit. So that takes us up to 230, 235 perhaps for Erebus Motorsport. My maths are notoriously wonky, so we could be a way off here, but that's my guess. And 235, that gives us another 30 minutes of racing with them. They would then need a short stop towards the end of the race in the final hour to get to the finish, bearing in mind there's 2 hours to go.
Quilty, remember a couple of years ago when we had a lovely day and all of a sudden the clouds started to gather, the wind started to pick up, and we had something biblical. Well, all we needed was the frogs.
2013 you're thinking of?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm detecting a little more cloud cover, and it's of the darker grey variety. Has this great race got yet another twist up its sleeve? Who writes the plots for these things? You guys have got great script writers.
I would say there was nothing forecast, but as regular Bathurst fans will know, that means absolutely nothing.
Well, you said that. We said that a few years ago, didn't we?
True.
And then we had the most amazing display of 30 to 40 kilometre an hour driving on the top of the mountain by people who are much more used to going 200 clicks quicker than that, and yet it was still breathtaking to watch the guys trying to keep the cars on the straight and narrow. Is that going to be a factor in the last 2 hours, which we are into now? 2 hours and 4 minutes still to run on this one, and Wolfie Reep, the man who earned his position in the Nismo Global Athlete team by being selected from the GT Academy into the boot camp by running a video game test. Then he had to do all the hard work. Then he had to get the 11 signatures on his license to get his international say and go race in the 24 hours of Dubai. And now he comes here as part of a fully professional team that are chasing down the leaders. And it's Richard Muscat who he has in his sights at the moment in the 36 Erebus Mercedes-Benz, the AMG car. The SLS just in front at the moment. But Wolfie Reep driving with the confidence of a man with much more experience on the racetrack than he actually has. And the back end of the lap is very good for the GTR as he closes up again, but he just can't get close enough to put a move on the leader.
Just going back through some of the classes, the GWS personnel invited production class, the number 23 BMW 1M, owned and run by Beric Linton and his team out of the Gold Coast, the Bruce Linton BMW outfit, Rob Thompson behind the wheel. They're currently leading that class and doing a sensational job. Venerable car runs in Australian Manufacturers Championship competition and has done so for quite some time. They're currently scored 31st, one position, and on the same lap as the Class C leading, or Class C contending, I should say, Aston Martin.
Betty Klemenko, First Lady of Australian Motorsport, just living every single corner of the race, as she always does. Love the enthusiasm of Betty. She's been a good friend to us as well on RadioLeMans.com at Spa and some of the overseas races. And of course here, lovely to meet her for the first time when I came here. That is the enthusiasm I love to see in the pit lane.
This is brilliant for Richard Muscat and for Jack Le Brocq. Dean Canto has been here and done that before. But Erebus, I think, unfairly copped a fair bit of criticism when they announced their driver lineup for this year's race, mainly because they didn't go down the international route that they have in the past and couldn't draw on their V8 supercar drivers for the weekend. So they went, right, we're going to get Richard Muscat, who's been part of our academy. We'll get Jack Le Brocq, who's been part of our academy. We'll draw in Dean Canto for car 36 as the experience glue that binds them together. They have impressed and delivered today so far. Super performance by all three, and car 36 is right in this one.
Absolutely, massively. It's been a fantastic performance, and we're not had the problem for the 63 car. I've no doubt whatsoever the selection there would have been inspired too.
Just wonder, we've got the Nissan dropping into its pit window now as he closes up again on the leader. Richard Muscat had to just back out at the end of the Michelin chase as he comes down under the Licklemolly Bridge in front of the Riches Hotel and down to Maguire's Corner, the final left-hander here on the circuit. Just wonder now if Bob Neville, who is helping with the team here, the Nismo Global Athlete Team. I wonder what his calculator is saying. Wolfie Reed was last in, or at least the 35 car was last in 31 laps ago as Wolfie. Oh, you know, this is a guy who allegedly has no experience, just over a year's worth of experience. He dodges out there to make sure that Richard Muscat can see the bluff front end of that Nissan GTR, just to make him sure that he knows you're coming there. I don't think he needs reminding, Wolfie, but I like your style. That is mind games being played, just turning up the pressure on the car in front.
As we watch this, something just popped up on Twitter that I've noticed about 5 or 10 minutes ago, which is that Stephen Kane is not on the lead lap anymore. Now, is that courtesy of a recent pit stop? Is that going to wind its way back in? Because actually Stephen is now in a battle with Benny Simonson for 6th position off the lead lap.
First car's off the lead lap, you're absolutely right. I did notice that tweet come in earlier on, and then I got distracted. No rain on the radar. And the 97 car's his third, Alex McDowell. He's gone, look at the black marks. He's gone straight on there and banged the car up, and the steering is damaged. He's going to try a flick turn. This is again a Griffin Bend. I'm not sure he's going to get away with that. Is he? Yes, he is. But can he get this car going? He has, and he's avoided another full course caution. Gee, that would have been right in the range for the Nissan to take a stop. Now, has he got damage there? He may have got away with it.
I don't think he hit, or did he? I'm not sure he hit anything.
The black lines must have been from an earlier incident, and heavens, there's been enough at Griffin Bend this weekend.
Surface holding up beautifully, by the way. Tip of the hat to the Bathurst Regional Council for getting that all sorted, and that's the spin. So light contact. Just brushed the tyre bundle on the outside there. But key moment, that car was third in the motor race, in front of the two Phoenix Racing Audis.
He's only dropped one place. Vanto's gone through. Has Baumgartner gone through as well?
There's a timing glitch on that car, John. And
well reminded.
Certainly both the Phoenix cars will have taken that place immediately. Victor Muscat on pit lane, 36 car.
Well, that answers the question. And my maths was about 8 laps short there. Lap 222, Richard Muscat pits.
You might not have been wrong, of course. They might just think we can go from here with one more pit stop. And of course, if you don't have to put a full tank in, you're going to be stationary slightly shorter amount of time. They're looking for track position here, I reckon, Krilsey. Let's get this one done in case we get caught the wrong side of a full course caution. And I think the Nissan has kind of got to follow them in next time around if they're going to stay in touch. The question's got to come down to drive times now for the individual pilots, and what Wolfie Reed's got left in terms of his driving time and who goes in to do the last couple of hours.
The decision might be made now, John, based on what traffic's ahead of Wolfgang Reed. Has he got some clear air ahead of him? Can he get his foot in and get some clear blue air between him and the chasing trio or quartet now, with the Aston Martin trying to get back onto terms with the Audis? Or are we going to see the 35 car down pit lane very soon?
Minute and 5 to transit pit lane to put a new driver in and a full tank of fuel.
Wow.
Good stop from Erebus Motorsport, and Jack Le Brocq now finds himself behind the wheel of car number 2.
I think he will drop down behind Felix Baumgartner, but ahead of Alex McDowell, and that spin now looks costly for Alex McDowell. He'd be a place further up the field, of course.
He would be, and there's bad news, meanwhile, from the United States for the progress on the LMP1 programme for Nissan. It's very clear the entire team is watching this race.
No, there's no work being done at AAR at the moment. Hello to everybody. We're very excited to see that car at the FIA World Endurance Championship Prologue at Paul Ricard's the week after Sebring. Busy summer of endurance racing for our RadioLeMans.com team as we travel the globe, and great to be down here in Australia with our colleagues at 7, bringing you this race around the world as well as around Australia. And this is rapidly becoming a must-do race, not just for us broadcasters, but also for the drivers.
Yeah, it's fair to say that the marketing man at Nissan, Paul Ryan, proud Australian, of course, is probably the grumpiest Aussie at the moment, not being here.
So how far does the Nissan go into this stint? We saw a stop on 222 for Jack Le Brocq, and they were there or thereabouts with that 35 car in terms of their strategy.
The only thing I would say, I was very keen on them stopping and covering the 36 car, but with the pit rules here and under the full course caution, the pit stays open. So you do still get the opportunity to pit if the safety car comes out. It might just work to push this car on and open up your last stop window to a wider area. Remember, once you get inside that last stop, about an hour, under an hour or thereabouts to go, you can make your last stop. You don't have to go all the way into it, even if you've got half a tank of fuel left. You're just stationary less time because you're putting less fuel in it.
Either that or you roll the dice, see how long you can go, and it doesn't matter if it runs out of fuel as you cross the line if you're in first place.
Well, these are the questions that we're asking here. It matters not to any of us. Of course, we will be excited whatever the result. Imagine how it must be down in the pit garages and on the pit wall for the guys who are making the decision. That will change the outcome of the race, potentially underlining a victory. Or can you sneak with a different strategy a better result than you're sitting with at the moment? The Bentley, of course, of Stephen Kane now up into second. It's 35 Nissan from 10 Bentley in second. Laurent Vanthoor in the 15 Audi in third position, 22 seconds away from the Bentley, and then another 20 seconds further back is Felix Baumgartner. I am very surprised that that car has not copped a penalty from race control after the contact with Ivo Breukers in the Mark Cars Australia Mazda. Here comes our race leader, Nissan, leading Bathurst. A few years since that has been said here. Wolfie Reap across the line. 2:07 last time I went round for Wolfie as he got caught in a little bit of traffic. How much more fuel in the tank? How much more will they risk? Wolfie being out there, not because he's doing a bad job. They have got track position at the moment and they want to keep it.
I think we've had a timing error for that Bentley because it's now shown as being back on the lead lap, and it certainly has not done that. So I think that's a part of that timing glitch that's affected the Audi. Stephen Kane now shown in second position and just 8.5 seconds back from Wolfie Reap on the same kind of pace.
That's more like it.
So it's Nissan from Bentley from the two Audis, 15 from 16 then. Alec McDowell in the number 97 car at that near brush with disaster.
Felix Baumgartner's dropping a bit of time in this stint, but full credit, he's very, very consistent, punching out regular 211s and just keeping that car in the mix. And all he's got to do is hand that car over to somebody for the final stint of the race on the lead lap. And that's job done, I think, for Felix on his first visit to Mount Panorama. Solid stuff. 2:10.4 last time round for him. That's a solid lap.
So the Ultima led the 1000k here last year in a brilliant run to a fabulous finish. And now we've got the GTR leading the 1000. And thanks to Lachlan Hines for reminding me I was in Japan that weekend catching the highlights. Here's the Michelin hourly update. It's Reap in the Nissan from Kane in the Bentley, from Laurent Vanthoor in the Audi, the Darrell Lee top 3. And Peter Edwards pulls the number 8 car back into the top 10 as well for the Flying B concern.
It's a great race so far. The Michelin hourly update shows us the top 10. This is the Pirelli class leaderboard. Kane and Reap, we know. Sam Power leads, continues the Century Batteries GT3 Cup class in the Superbarn Porsche. Mark O'Connor, the Lotus, continues to top Bridges Class C. Rob Thompson in front in the BMW 1 Series. They've had a really solid day leading GWS Class D, and the Recaro class led by the Mark Ford Focus. Gary Jacobson, as they've done for much of the weekend, continues to top the standings. They're the class standings. We've got a race on our hands. There are 6 cars on the lead lap. The Liqui Bathurst 12 hour will go right down to the wire. Welcome back to Mount Panorama, live coverage on the 7 Network around Australia as we build ourselves to a finish. There's an hour and 48 to go. We're busy working out pit strategy and trying to work out who's where on the run to the flag. A couple of Ferraris in pit lane, Vicious Rumour Racing and Clearwater Racing, and it's going to be very close between the two of them as they rejoin. One car, the 49 car, is 7th. The other, the Chrome 33, back down in 12th place with Tony Verlander back behind the wheel. Their charge back into contention has not gone to their plans.
And that's down to the safety cars.
Yeah, Andrea Montemini back behind the wheel of car 49, and great to have him back in Australia. As we heard in his chat with Barretts earlier on, raced here in the Bathurst 24 hour in a Ferrari. did not finish that race. Ironically, David Brabham was a co-driver of his that day. It was the last time Brabham's raced a GT race at Mount Panorama.
Another 2:07 for Wolfie Reap and a 2:08 for Stephen Kane. Suggests there's a little traffic out there that's slowing people down. In fact, everybody's lap time is just going out a wee bit now. I'm wondering if the heat of the day and the tyre choice hasn't quite worked out for some of these people, but it's affecting everybody in the same way, so there's no real advantage or disadvantage. The hard tyres that the Michelin runners begged Michelin to bring, have they been pushed into use yet? Are they all sitting on the mediums and trying to triple stint them?
I know Kraft had their soft tyres on earlier on as Andy Soucek brings the 11 car in from 11th place, rather ironically. 225 laps completed, so they're just over 2.5 behind the 227 completed by our current leader, the number 35 Nissan GTR.
At the moment, boys, I'm liking the look of the pace of Florence Vantour into the 205s now and closing under 30 seconds now back from the leader as Stephen Kane drops back a little from Wolfgang Reap, who is due on pit lane any time now. The charging 15 Phoenix Audi is closing the gap.
This is not a regular stop for the Bentley. It's on the transport jacks, and that's going back in the box, fellas. This 11th position car is going to lose some time. Now, bad news for them. Is it bad news also for the sister car that sits in second position? You always wonder, don't you, if you see some kind of reliability problems, if it's going to affect both of the cars. They're going to work underneath the car. These guys have worked on World Rally Championship, British GTs and the Blancpain Series. The M Sport guys are very, very good at analysing the problem, working out what it is, and then fixing it.
They're broken, battered and bruised, but still running. 27th placed Aston Martin of Motion Sport, the Compare Insurance sponsored car, with Pete Story behind the wheel of that car at the moment. Gordon Shedden off down at the final corner earlier on today, turn 23, Maguire's turn.
Could have been my adopted car that this weekend for no other reason than I've taken more pictures of that car because it's close to where we walk up to the booth, and as a photographer I'm fairly lazy. It is a pretty car and it photographs very well, and every time I've walked by they've been doing something tremendously photogenic with it.
Ben Gower.
Feel kind of at one with that car. There is the Erebus 63 car. That's the car that's had issues as well for the Erebus team.
Yep, Austin Cindric at the wheel of that car as it came in. This is a 16-year-old American.
Ben Garrett was, behind the wheel of the Motion Sport car. This car, 26, so one position further up than the Motion Sport entry. After dramas early, punctured rear tyre, backed it into the wall at the cutting, as many drivers have today.
Just noticed, by the way, that the Grove Racing Porsche is back at the head of the Century Batteries Class B, the GT3 Porsche categories. No, as I say that, it's not. It's Sam Power, the 47, excuse me, jumping around the timing screen there, Hindhoff. But they are working their way back, and we might yet have a battle in that. Slip Yilton, who is at the wheel, is just on the back of the lead lap, just in the Class B. So we might yet have a battle. One of the walking wounded, of which there are legion. The 66 Mobil 1 sponsored car. Gee, they've had a long run today. The GT Endurance guys, Scott O'Donnell, Aidan Knighton and Michael Lyons. Michael was up in the press room talking to one or two of the journalists a little earlier on. Unfortunately, we were a bit busy, couldn't get him on into the booth. We'll try and get a chat with them later on, but that is a team with a story to tell here for sure.
And into pit lane comes car 35, race leader Wolfgang Reap on lap 229. So bang on our prediction before, minus one lap, but I think we're allowed that. Well, with a 9.8 second lead. So compared to the Erebus car, who stopped on 222, so they're 8 laps apart. I don't think that'll affect too much towards the end of the race. It'll just mean that they might have to fuel conserve a little bit at Erebus, and they are driving a driver change. It'll be Florian Strauss getting behind the wheel of car 35. So you'd think from here, with an hour and 43 to go, there'll be one stop to go.
I think they're putting tyres on that because this is leisurely. They're not pushing too hard. The fueling is almost done. Oh, this is taking too long, guys. If they're not putting tyres on this, and now I'm going to change my mind and say they're not. That took too long.
It was a very casual driver change.
The fuel hose was out for a long time. That's why I thought they were... Oh, obviously it's going to go up on the jacks and they're going to throw a new set of Michelins on it, but that took too long there.
Rolling down pit lane, 40 k's an hour. We saw before the Erebus stop was 1 minute and 5 from pit in to pit out. This, minute 17.
There goes
minute
the Erebus
18.
car across the line now. It's going to be tight as they come out of the pit lane.
They've lost 15 seconds, John. 15 seconds in that stop sequence. All the good work done on track has been lost with a slow lap. Now, where is the Erebus Motorsport car? Back of shot, headlights ablaze, just at the bottom end of Mountain Straight. So they haven't lost position to it, but they've lost time.
It's come out after the Alex McDowell Aston Martin has gone through. So the car will drop from 1st to 4th position.
That is something that Bob Neville is going to be absolutely furious about there. Now, he is one who advocates taking your time at pit stop because you've got to bolt your driver in properly, and nobody is saying you've got to skimp there, but that seemed to be a tad too leisurely, and the time just ebbing away. The fuel was done, so it would appear that they could have gone perhaps even a little bit longer. We'll check driver times and such like, but the good news is now I think Florian Strauss can go all the way to the end of the race and do it on one more stop.
And this is the car that now leads the race. Not quite this one, it's the one just up the road. There it is, car 10, Stephen Kane. So the Bentley assumes the lead in this pit stop shuffle, but they shouldn't be too far away from stopping either.
Bentley leads Bathurst.
Again.
Still in this race though, aren't they?
Oh,
these
forever.
guys? And you heard before, Matt Bell likely to get back in this car, although the other option's not too bad either, is it, Guy Smith?
And when did Kearney stop last? Or when did this car stop last, the 10?
I don't think they're that far off the sequence of the GTR.
No, I don't either.
John.
This is a long stint from Stephen Kane. It's been a very good one. He's been right there in the hunt, and of course now the car rising up to the lead. He's got 25 seconds over Lawrence Vanteur and the chasing Phoenix Audi, the number 15 car. This is the matte black car with the kangaroo logos on the side.
Anybody betting against last 20-minute shootout again here?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
They'll get not a cent of my money on that not being the case. Not one.
Steve Owen pits the JBS Lamborghini from 7th position. Still just one lap from the race lead. And needs something pretty mighty to happen from here to get on that lead lap. If they do, they're in this race because they've got great car speed in that car.
Now what happens? This would be Bentley's biggest win since 2003.
Now, you talk about little things making a difference. The maximum drive time is 4 hours and 30 minutes. We talked about that earlier on. Darrell O'Young has just tweeted using the hashtag B12HR. His drive time, 4 hours and 28 minutes. That's called using your resources.
Absolutely. I was massively impressed with Darrell in this
me
car.
too.
Massively. If you think about who else was available to the team, Stefan Mucker has got a bullet in the gun for them.
And Laurent Vanteur is pushing hard, very hard indeed. He's just brushed the wall at Reed Park up on the top of the mountain. He appears to have got away with it for the moment, but we'll keep an eye on that 15 car. Sitting in second place at the moment, 25 seconds further back down the road than Stephen Kane in the leading car, the Bentley.
He might be pushing hard, but Stephen Kane is pushing harder into the 205s within about 0.8 of a second of the fastest time for that car in the race, 205.9 against 207.3 for the Audi. So at the moment, it's going the Bentley's way. The gap has gone out to nearly 27 seconds now. So Stephen is absolutely on it.
And a bad lap for Lawrence Vanteur we're looking at now. Here's 7.3 to our leader. It's 5.9 and 26.9 seconds behind is the Phoenix Racing Audi.
Here's the thing, guys. Where are the Bentleys getting this pace from? All of a sudden, they've been sitting in the midfield. We saw them up the head of the field early on when they cycled through. And all of a sudden now, they're some of the quickest cars on the track and consistently quick in traffic or not.
And also consistently quick now after that brush with the wall is Alex McDowell, because he's closing in on Vanteur. Who would have bet on this one 2 or 3 hours ago?
The gap between them, 29.6 seconds. I just wonder how much that spin will cost McDowell, especially if it goes green for a long time.
We've had...
Remember, he was ahead of the Audi.
He was. We've had 17 safety car periods for 63 laps here at Bathurst, and the Liqui Moly 12 hours for 2015 will forgive all of that if we can get through to the last 25-30 minutes and have some full green flag, full fat racing. At the moment we're under green and we're getting down to the money laps. Who will blink first? It's live and free on 7. You're watching the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 hours for 2015. Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 hours. Well, this is the battle on the circuit at the moment. The Aston Martin right in amongst it. It's that is third, fourth and fifth position. And this is just how it works. That's the 99 car just squaring me up again. The 99 stays out of the way.
They need different liveries on those two cars. They look far too similar.
Not the first time it's caught me out today. I'm going to keep an eye on that, Krilsey, while you get an interview away with an absolute legend here in the comms box.
Funny, the people you meet wandering through the commentary position here at Mount Panorama, defending champion of the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 Hour, John Bowe, is with us. G'day, JB. How are you?
G'day, mate. I'm good. Yeah, I finished my work for the day. Started badly. I made a rookie mistake and on the outlap. Felt like an absolute goose, but we live to fight another day. So the car's going good, going well.
How's the team gone? This is the first major race for Flying B Racing. Of course, major debut at the end of last year over at Highlands Motorsport Park. But how's the process been today? How's the team gelled together, and how's the car gone?
Look, honestly, it's been so good. The car hasn't missed a beat. The guys we've got Campbell Little, who's vast experience, a bit like me. He hasn't made any mistakes, unlike myself. But we've got Lewis is from Bentley Motorsport or M Sport, which build the cars. He's an awesome little bloke, and we've got all the Maranello guys that were there last year. So it's been like absolutely terrific, really.
Well, hey JP, you're talking about running at the very sharp end of a very, very good field on a difficult circuit. I know you know this place like the back of your hand, but you get 5 hours of practicing qualifying to get used to a brand new car. How do you dial yourself in so quickly? What are you trying to do to find out the personality, if you like, of this Flying B Bentley?
Well, I think honestly the car it's more conventional because it's a front engine rear drive. So whilst I wouldn't say it's probably ultimately quite as quick as a Ferrari around here, it gives you good messages. So it's actually quite a nice car to drive. It's got in terms of driver comforts, it's got this refrigeration unit that runs a cool suit. So the blokes with my vintage, it's fantastic.
Is there any differences between your car and the M Sport car? Different specifications or anything like that?
I don't believe so, no. I mean, if you look at our best laps for the day, they're all within a tenth of each other. So I think it's much the same, but we've done our thing this weekend and they've done their thing. We haven't had any great sharing of data, which, is fine with us. I think the car's got more potential next year or this coming year in our series in Australia, so I'm quite excited about it, except I've been talking so much I've lost my voice.
This car pressing on. This is Stephen Kane, one of the works M Sport Bentleys. It's about to set. If all goes well, it's fastest lap of the motor race. So it doesn't quite, very close. Does a 5.4, which is good pace at this stage in the game.
Yes,
I believe
I'll
this
say.
motor race, though, JB, safety cars, record number of them today. Tough affair.
Well, I guess that's what endurance racing is about. That's what it used to be about back in the day when the Bathurst 1000 was for all sorts of different cars. You had a lot of speed difference, and while we all get a bit crapped off about it, they've got as much right to be there as we have. And you need to be, smart and not get involved because, the circuit bites. You can't make a mistake here without hitting something, basically. Although I managed to. I don't know how I did that. It was God help me.
Is it the case now, John, that you've got to pretty much in any endurance race, looking at John Wickham there, the man, one of the driving force behind the
vastly
Sport 2.
experienced, isn't
Yes, just a bit. Everything from F1 down over. Wicks there doing the numbers as John, your car's just come into the pits. Is it the case now, though, that you've almost got to have an absolute clear run, and that the endurance part of endurance racing is getting those decisions right? Because we kind of take the reliability of these cars for granted now, which we could not have done, well, certainly not even a decade ago.
No way. No, even 4 years ago it was a problem. But they are so. These are like factory race cars in actual fact. So they've proven to be very tough. I mean, it's interesting to see the Bentley has obviously managed itself into that position, which is very good. The team's done that for them. I would, you know, before this race started, my money was on the number 15 Audi, because it's got a great driver lineup. The gun is in there now, so you know, I reckon they'll be very hard to beat. But I've been very impressed with the young guys in Erebus, the black Mercedes too. You know, Jack LeBrock and Richard Muscat are, you know, future champions in this country, so and they've done a fantastic job.
It's gratifying to see guys from here mixing it with the international stars and giving Aussie Motorsport a fantastic future.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it is. I mean, Aussie blokes have always been pretty good, though, to be honest.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. What we want to do, John, is to see you. We want to see you come across and do, you know, the 24 hours at Dubai, the 24 hours at Spa, and give one back over to the guys over there. You know, that's the sort of thing. We now know how good all you guys are. You need to take that to the rest of the world, as we see some great side-by-side racing going down into the final corner, and that is Laurent Vanthoor, who has set this place alight as he comes through.
Sorry, JB, something I'm keen to ask you is that what we've seen today is that working through traffic, it seems you have to be very decisive when you're the faster car, because we've seen the ones that have hesitated have either made contact or had near misses. Is that how you approach it? What's the process when you're taking into a car that is 10, 15 seconds a lap slower than you?
Well, personally, I take it very carefully, because you're never quite sure who's in what car. And, you know, you just have to be patient, basically. Some of the younger guys, I've certainly seen them today, they go where angels fear to tread, and sometimes they get away with it, sometimes they don't.
Stop call for the 16 car, and I can only assume that was for the contact earlier on with Ivo Breukers at the top of the hill. That certainly wasn't in their pit bay, as far as I'm aware. That was a stop and hold, actually, at the end of the pit lane, by the look of what we saw on the screen. Felix Baumgartner dropping into 6th position overall. Stephen Kane still out there. An hour and 27 minutes left to go. Tactics, John. You've got a big... Well, actually, I'll take that back, because Felix is now out of the car, so maybe that was a stop as well. Tactics, John, what do you do now? Most people have got either a stop or a stop and a splash to go. Do you take your last stop as soon as you can and get it out the way, or do you roll the dice and go as far as the fuel will let you?
Well, they certainly won't do an hour and 20 minutes on a tank. No way. So, you know, I think most of them have got their best, you know, their fastest, their most efficient driver in, and it'll be a very tough race to the finish, I think.
JB, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, as always. Best of luck to the end. At the moment, you're 11th. It'd be nice to see that Flying B car inside the top 10 at the end of a grueling 12 hours.
Yes, wouldn't it?
Thanks for dropping by. There's John Bowe, defending champion of this race and going very well in the Flying B Racing Bentley. We need to get a break out of the way from Mount Panorama. Bentley leads the race with Stephen Kane out on top. We'll take a break, back with more right after this.
And a 5.7 for style from the judges there. The ice break Porsche, quick spin and resume. Chris Pither at the wheel of that. He's 7th overall at the moment, chaps. And that leaves him 5th position in the Pro class.
Can't afford to lose too much time doing things like that, though, young Chris, because Andrea Montermini isn't too far behind on the same lap in the Ferrari. In fact, the gap is 9 seconds. It was 15 before that little spin. So Chris Pither needs to just keep the thing pointed in the right direction and try and get that car to the finish. They're the second car off at this stage, the lead lap. The 16 car through the pit shuffle has dropped back, but they have Stefan Ortelli behind the wheel now, the former Le Mans 24-hour winner. So they've got a good driver in that car to get it to the flag, and as the pit stop shuffle works itself out in the closing stages of this motor race, they might well find themselves back in the game.
I love the way that for all the calculations that we do, all the notes that we keep, all the speculation that we do, it will come down to the dash after the last pit stops when everybody is going for the same thing, namely the best finish that they can possibly achieve. As we see it at the moment, Stephen Kane, who's just done a 2:05.1, very quick indeed, is coming to the end of the run for the leading number 10 Bentley. But at the moment, he's not in the window to go to the end on one more stop. He needs about another 15 minutes, I reckon, to do that, and I don't think he's got that in the tank.
Well, you heard it from someone who's been driving a Bentley all day. JB, before the break, was saying he can't do it with an hour and 20. That's not going to happen, and I'm not convinced he's going to be able to get another 20 minutes out of that car before he stops. I think they aren't too far away from a pit stop, so we need to sort of find out what's going on down there in the Bentley M Sport garage. Another thing we're ticking over as we have a look at this great fight between the Nissan and the Erebus Merc. This could still be the battle for the victory in an hour and 20 minutes time. Make no mistake about that. The other thing we're ticking over is laps. We're up to 239 laps, which is 1,484 Ks. Still miles below the lowest distance ever completed in the GT era since 2011. That was 2013, 268 laps. I think we'll go past that. No way we're going to get near the record distance from 2014, 296 laps.
Too much yellow, I'm afraid, and that's rather a shame, because when the cars have been racing the green flags, it's been stunning stuff. Meanwhile, Stephen Kane puts in a 2:07 that'll be traffic affected. It's the first lap I've seen him under 2:06 for quite some wee while, pulling it out a bit more clean air from Laurens Vanthoor as he gets closer and closer to bring the number 10 Bentley down pit lane for tank full of fuel, John.
54 in from the Ridges GT4 Class C battle. They have been at it pretty much all the way through, the Lotus and the Aston Martin. Another British mark affair. And interesting way to get in. Head in first and then settle yourself back into the seat. V6 Lotus Exige. Battle with the St. Gallen dark grey Aston Martin. And look at the top of the screen, you can see that they are in the pit, and Chris Porritt has dropped 5 laps to them now.
He must have had a problem.
They've had a problem with that car, and that's going to be hard to pull back if the Donut King car runs all the way through.
That's rather a shame, because the battle we've had on track between just these two cars has been nose to tail almost all the way through. They'll go one way or the other with pit stops, but clearly the very pretty pink Lotus now has a significant advantage over the equally pretty flat grey Aston Martin.
Meantime, Stephen Kane continues to lap right in the numbers, the kind of numbers that we'd expect to see from the Bentley. And it's Vanthoor in second, McDowell in third. 10, 15 and 97. Bentley, Audi, Aston Martin, all I think with 2 stops, or at least not 2 full stops, but a stop and a splash for those cars. I'm pretty certain that the Nissan can go on one more stop. Florian Strauss behind the wheel of the 35 is being pressured at the moment by Jack Le Brocq in the 36 Aston Martin, in the 36 AMG Mercedes-Benz SLS, and they may just need a splash or a little help from a safety car, as well as the Lotus is rolling again down the pit lane.
We've got a big battle on track at the moment for 9th position. Tony Verlander in that Clearwater Ferrari that we were thinking might get back onto the lead lap. Hasn't worked out for them, but it's just put in the fastest lap of that car's race, a 2:05 dead, and is now within a second of David Russell in the 32 Lamborghini ahead. Meantime, with the 2 cars 4th and 5th, we've just been watching them on screen, Florian Strauss and Jack Le Brocq are beginning to reel in the Aston Martin for 3rd, a couple of seconds a lap quicker at the moment over the last 2 laps, and that gap is coming down to under 15 seconds.
We're predicting somewhere in the region of 277 laps of Bathurst for the 2015 Liqui Moly 12 hours. And you'll see them when we come back live and free on 7. Matt Bell being installed a few moments ago. You saw it there on the Maguire's replay, and Matt is back in the number 10 Bentley. Stephen Kane, after an Ironman run, has got out, and that is a key moment of the race. It happened at 1 hour and 16 to run, and unless they're going to make fuel on that 4-litre V8 and use the cylinder on demand function that the street car has, I don't think they can go to the end from there.
Two things I think are happening with the 10 car. They either know they have to stop again, or they're gambling that there'll be a safety car between now and the finish, and they'll be able to save some fuel during that.
Watch the pace. Watch the pace. If the car is right on the pace and doing as quick as it's ever done, they know they're having to stop again, and they're pushing. If it's not, if it's half a second to a second off, then it means they're already in the mode that is trying to save fuel. Well, maybe Stephen Kane can tell us one of those answers. Do we think we'll get a straight answer? Well, Mark Beretta is going to ask the question anyway, I guarantee it.
We'll ask the hard questions, John. Stephen Kane, well done, you guys. You're working away, and you're really making up some ground now.
Yeah, we've, you know, the track's obviously rubbering up, and with the temperature down, the track's actually coming to us, so yeah, we're getting more and more competitive as the race goes on, but you know, we've still got another stop to do. We have to look after the brake pads yet, which is a big thing for everyone. So yeah, it's all going well at the minute. Lap times are good and we're competitive, so yeah, we're in the right place.
Steve, you've just answered the question that everyone wants to know. There will be another stop. Will there be a driver change as well?
Not sure yet. I need to check with the team to see what the amount of time that I just did, but you know, the plan was for him to put me in at the end, but I think I did a fair chunk of time there, so we'll have to see what the boys say.
Are you getting a sniff of a win here at Mount Panorama this afternoon?
It would be a dream come true, and I would love it. Now, I was certainly pushing in the last stint, but we'll wait and see. I would love it. It'd be great for Bentley.
How's the Bentley handling out there? It looks fantastic.
It is really, really good. It's such an enjoyable track. You know, with the dirt down earlier in the weekend, it was, you know, we were just taking our time, getting to learn the track, getting to learn the tires. But as the rubber's going down and the race is going, the car's coming to us, and we can really start to grab it by the neck now. So it's enjoyable.
We'll let you cool down, catch your breath, and you could be back out there.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Well, if that was a roll of the dice down with Mark Beretta and Stephen Kane for Bentley, what we've just seen there is, well,
we're trying to work them out,
pushed it all in. If this is a game of high-stakes poker, the 36 Erebus Mercedes have gone all in because they've come out with 1 hour and 11 minutes to go, having Jack Le Brocq in for a splash of fuel. They did not need to come in at that time. And with 112 litres in the tank, do they think they can do 1 hour and 10? That is stretching the envelope for my money. Unless there was
didn't change drivers.
No, unless the only thing is if they've had some issue that needed sorting and then they've brimmed it, and then they'll have to hope. But if that was a tactic, they really have put it all on the line there when we thought that they and the Nissan number 35 might have been battling in 40 minutes time for the victory here at Mount Panorama. That's a baffling situation. It may be a piece of brilliance that we've just seen there.
The very limited brain cells inside my head, John, are struggling to cope with that. 21 laps on a stint. We know they can go near on 30 at least. So that's a surprise, unless they think they could go an hour and 10.
But what they're doing is looking at Jack Le Brocq's drive time. So they brought him in at that point and filled it. He'll now go to the end of his drive time. But it's, I'm not
That's
sure.
the noise, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
There's three very confused faces in here, and I think once Sheridan gets down to the Erebus pits, we may get the answer as to what that was all about, but that was very edgy stuff. If that was tactics...
Well, if that comes off from them, that is a big, bold move from the ladies and gents down at Erebus Racing. And if that's what wins the motor race, then you've got to hand it to them. That has been a big one. Laurent Vantour at the head of the field at the moment, but needs another stop.
And is pulling away from the Aston Martin. 28 seconds, 3 or 4 laps back now, over 36 seconds to the good Laurent Vantour. So the pace is there. It's still in the 205s is the Audi. They need to see another stop from the 15 and the 97.
Certainly not fuel saving, are they?
No. Now what we're getting into now, though, gentlemen, is for the 15 and the 97 with 109 to go. If we can eke another 3 or 4 laps out from those two, as the 97 comes in, it clearly can't. So stop that thought immediately, Hindhaugh. And while that car comes in, let's find out how clever Erebus were being. Jack Le Brocq in and out again on a short stint. Shea Adam has gone down to the 36 pit.
That was the risk that might just get them to the podium. They had driver times perfectly planned out, but unfortunately the fuel levels did not coincide. So when Richard Musquet came in to get out of the car and Jack Le Brocq to get in, he still had about 30 liters of fuel left in the tank. This last stop gets Jack Le Brocq to the checkered with a full fuel tank, but the catch is they're a couple minutes short, so they're preying on a safety car coming out. Given the way that we've seen safety cars plenty today, I think theirs is a safe bet.
Well, I don't know there's ever a safe bet around here. The mountain throws the variables at you like nowhere else in the world. We've said that was a high-stakes bet. They have just pushed all their chips in for Jack Le Brocq, and in the next hour and 8 minutes, we'll see if that pays off big or they go home having lost their shirts. It's the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 hours for 2015 on 7. It's Mount Panorama, and we're watching a Nissan climb the mountain under the guidance of Florian Strauss, young Belgian driver who's come up through the GT Academy. And he comes up to Griffin Bend, turns hard right. He's got traffic ahead of him in the shape of one of the B-Class Porsches. And let's ride with him here as we watch the fastest tin tops, no, scrub that, the fastest cars at Bathurst. The big V8 rumble across here in a 207. We've already seen a 202 in qualifying here, and these guys are lapping somewhere in race trim on a 203. And this is where they make the time up. It's the downforce, the commitment of these drivers. They are giving away centimetres to the wall. They have to be millimetre perfect, and they are some 2 to 3 seconds faster over the top of the mountain than their V8 counterparts, because they're not as quick in a straight line. The V8s are a little quicker, but these guys are taking time out of the other tin tops by being committed and being super quick over the technical sections. These are international sports car superstars, race car rock stars here on the mountain, out through the Fulton Tyre elbow and down the Conrod Straight. This Nissan is tearing up the track here and really showing what can be done. If you want variety, let's go on board with the number 10. This is the Bentley. Look at how relaxed the driver is. Round about 180 miles an hour, no hint of a lift, and braking all the way down at the 120-metre board for the Michelin Chase, standing on that middle pedal with around about 120 bar pressure. Down into the final corner. Commitment, commitment, commitment all the way through the 9 hours that we've been running. This is class, and you're seeing it live and free here on 7.
The top 16 cars, John, the top 16 cars as we currently stand the race have already beaten the lap record here by the V8 supercars during this race by up to 4 seconds a lap. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That much quicker than the fastest V8 supercar lap ever around the mountain. That's staggering stuff.
Right, to business. Florian Strauss pits the Nissan. Laurens Vanthoor in the number 15 Audi from the race lead has pitted. So, Chio jumping into the Nissan GTR. They're in 3rd place. I think these will be the final stops for these cars. The Audi should do an hour on a tank at Mount Panorama. They've done it before. It depends on how much the wickers turn up in this final stage. So there's the 35 Nissan. And they put rubber on that car too. So they've thrown some brand new tyres at that thing. So it's bringing all its armoury to the fight, to the finish of the Lucas 12 hour.
Yeah, last stop for Florian, or for the Nissan, should I say. And Shea Adam is down in the pit lane, and she has news on tactics. What do you have, Shea?
Well, Alec McDowell, you've never been to the mountain before, but you have driven with Craft Bamboo a bunch and Aston Martins. You had a very good time out there leading the race, but then you also had a spin at the start of your last stint. What triggered that?
Yeah, we were looking quite well. I was in a good rhythm to start with. I just had to kind of concentrate on holding the track position was the key. There was a Bentley out behind who obviously had their pro driver in. He was quite quick. He just ducked out last minute going into turn 2, distracted me. And as soon as you get offline there, it's off cambered, and I just lost the rear and went straight into the barrier. But luckily, I got it spun around okay. Got back again. The car didn't feel too bad. Set some quick lap times and started catching back up to third place. So it's not over yet. There's still a long way to go.
Stefan Muka in the car now with some soft Michelins on. Is he going to go to the end?
I'm not sure. I probably shouldn't say, but he'll obviously be very quick. Try and make up the lost ground. It's just disappointed on my behalf because you know, I'm a rookie here, but I just lapse of concentration. You know, we learn by our mistakes, and hopefully we come back next year, we can be in a better position.
You can tell us. There's only a couple million people watching and listening across the world. It's okay. We'll keep your secret.
Yeah. No, it's this is a great race. This is one I've always wanted to do. It's probably my favourite one behind Le Mans. So it's great to be in a shout of a podium.
And within a shot of a podium is definitely within the reach of the 97 Aston Martin.
Within the shadow of a podium, you might be on the top step, the way this race doles out its cards towards the end. You can see a little bit of damage on the back of the Porsche as that comes down Conrod straight. At the head of the field, it's back to Bentley, and Matt Bell, who was down and out for the count earlier on, has been rehydrated, replaced into the car, and immediately heads up the mountain, putting in decent times.
We're in the last hour. It's that kind of time again where you remember when you were back in the playground and someone was picking the team. Well, these are who the picks are for the top
picks.
6.
Yeah.
The first picks. Matt Bell leads the motor race for Bentley in the number 10 Bentley Continental GT3. Laurens Vanthoor 10 seconds back in the number 15 Phoenix Audi. Kazumichi Chio, thank you very much, is third in the Nissan GTR. Godzilla is on the mountain and is a further minute and a quarter back. Jacques Lebrock in the Erebus Mercedes-Benz is next up, right on the tail of the Nissan. And Stefan Muka, just hearing from Alex McDowell there, is the last throw of the dice for the 97 car, the Craft Bamboo, the V12-engined Aston Martin.
If it goes to a fight to the flag between the 10 Bentley and the 15 Audi, you put your money on Laurens Vanthoor based on what we've seen so far and the raw speed available to that car. Fastest lap difference between the two of them. The best lap for the 10 Bentley so far today, 205.1. The fast lap for Laurens Vanthoor, 203.3 that he did on lap 29. It seems like several months ago, earlier on this morning.
And yet in some ways it feels like 5 minutes ago, because we've never been able to take our eyes off the Channel 7 pictures here in the booth as the number 10 of Matt Bell leads up the mountain.
If it's a race on speed alone, John, the Nissan and the 15 Audi win it. But we know it's not. It's on track position. Well, it's on getting to the final safety car, if there is one.
Well, you always say all things being equal, and how many times in any motor race are all things equal?
Never.
How many times at the mountain are all things equal? How many times at an endurance race at the mountain are all things equal? At none, and none. He's just absolutely edge of the seat stuff. And I'll tell you now, up and down pit lane, nobody has any more idea of what's going to happen than we do here. It's pure speculation. Fastest lap of their race for Tony Vilander in the 33 Clearwater car. That car has not had the rub of the green this year and will not be among the top 3.
I cannot remember the last time, John, that you and I covered an endurance race anywhere in the world that something extraordinary didn't happen in the last half an hour.
Good point.
And we've got another half an hour on top of that to enjoy this. This is cracking stuff. It is well, 200 mile an hour chess, isn't it, really? But you wouldn't want to give away of this king or this pawn, but that's the Bentley full tilt all the way down the mountain now.
Well, Erebus earlier on sacrificed the Queen. Basically, that's what it was. The First Stadium Motorsport and the rest of the team making their decision early and setting Jacques Leblanc to stun and firing it off towards the checkered flag. Very, very tight on fuel that car will be. I still think that Matt Bell is doing enough at the moment. Can he keep the gap between himself and Vantour?
The other impressive thing, leading the race is a Bentley, second is an Audi, third is a Nissan, fourth is a Mercedes, fifth is an Aston Martin. 5 brands inside the top 5 of this amazing motor race.
What do we think Alex McDowell lost when he spun at Griffin Bend? 30 seconds?
30 seconds,
yeah,
definitely.
That could be...
That would have put him third at the moment.
What we've got in prospect here, guys, is a big result for Audi, a massive result for Bentley, a massive result for Nissan, a massive result for Aston Martin. This is the race these guys want to win. This is virgin territory for them.
Let's head down to the pit lane. We're going to go down to the Nissan, or the Nismo Global Athlete Garage, and Florian Strauss is out of the car speaking to our Shea Adam.
And Florian desperately wants to win this race. It's only your second race of 2015, and the first you wound up on a podium at Dubai. Is this the car to get you to that first place finish?
I think we're just, our main target is to finish the race and to win our class. Of course, it would be nice to get an overall podium, but I think we're not, hunting down the first position. It's just, saving the car, bring it safely home. We have a big lead in our class, so there's nothing, the gap to the front guys is quite big. The temperature is pretty high, so the car went through hell during the race. So we try to keep it now safe and conserve our place in the class, and then maybe looks like in a moment we can have an overall podium. That would be amazing. I think nobody from us expected us to be that good. Of course, during the race we all dreamed, maybe it looked really promising. We were often in first class, but unfortunately every gap we could drive out, got taken away by all the safety cars. But same for all in the end. You have to be a little bit lucky, that your safety car comes at the right time. But yeah, so far, amazing weekend, amazing experience in Australian, and I hope I come back next year.
Just looking for a little bit of luck is Florian Strauss and the whole number 35 Nismo team.
I once asked the man at the head of many of Audi's victories in World Motorsport, Reinhold Jost, what would you rather be, lucky or good? And he said both.
That's fair enough.
Typical Reinhold, and there have been.
I'd say something else. On the basis of that chat with Shea down in the pit lane. Oh, and trouble for the Elephant Bentley. It's stopped on track.
This is Maxi Burke in 16th position and really needs to get this car off the track if he can. This doesn't help his teammate at all. 5 seconds the gap between Matt Bell and Laurent Vantour. It's a massive break for Nissan if this goes full course caution. Local yellows at the moment. It will also help the 36 Erebus Mercedes-Benz, the MG SLS of Jacques Leblanc, as Montermini puts in that car's fastest lap, the 49 car, at 2:05.5 just before he comes to this slow zone on the circuit with the local yellows. Now, there's still electrical power in the 11 car. Maxi Burke will be cycling through everything. He's driver's left at the moment.
And so far today, remember, Race Control has been very good at giving drivers stopped on the circuit time to recover themselves, cycle through the car and get it fired up. So they will give them every opportunity to refire that car and get it going again. Fastest lap of the race for Andrea Montermini in 7th place. For that car, 5.5, 52 minutes to go. Safety car here makes things very interesting indeed.
Massive break for those chasing down Matt Bell at the moment. And the irony being it's his team car, the 11 of Maxi Burke, that is stationary. Yellow flags are local yellows at the moment, warning drivers of the issue. No overtaking. Be prepared to slow or stop. There is the car on the left-hand side. His teammate goes by him now. Wow, that looks like so quick. And the yellow flag becomes double yellows at the start-finish line. And the safety car is out on lap 252. And what we were just saying about all things being equal and not being has come to pass. The mountain throws out another curveball.
I'll take my $10 back about the Erebus bet and put it on that if Shea went back to speak to Florian now, he's not quite so calm, because this is going to throw it all open.
Yeah, this now means all bets are off, and that big move by Erebus to put all their chips in the middle with Jack Le Brocq, what, 40 minutes ago, 35 minutes ago, all of a sudden looks a little different. The question is, how long a safety car, how quick can that car be moved, and where do you take it to? If it's a flatbed that it needs, it's going to take some while. If it can be pushed back or rolled back, there is an entrance into the paddock just behind and to the right of the pictures that we're looking at now here on 7.
Amazing stuff. This race just continues to deliver, and in front of a record 3-day attendance of 32,200 plus 6,000 up on last year. So this race growing massively as we go down to pit lane and say a very big hello to Mark Beretta.
Well, guys, with the final 45 minutes closing in of this incredible 12-hour race, for viewers in Victoria and New South Wales, a reminder it's time to flick across to 7 Mate. So go from 7 to 7 Mate in Victoria and New South Wales to stay with the end of this incredible race. It's been an amazing 11 hours and 15 minutes, and the best is yet to come. The field is back together. For viewers in other states, say exactly where you are on 7, and we will take you to the finish of this race. For viewers in Victoria and New South Wales, switch now to 7 Mate.
At the Mountain, a place that has almost rewritten motorsport history in this part of the world, is doing it for international motorsport too, and you're seeing it live and free here on 7. Michelin hourly update sees Matt Bell for Bentley lead from Laurent Vanthoor. His 4.5 seconds has just disappeared in the Darrell Lea A category, with Katsumaza Chiyo in 3rd position for Nissan. A huge break for them. They get a minute catching up onto the front of the field. Jack Le Brocq as well in 4th position for Erebus. That's a big break for him. And even the Aston Martin of the 97 team with Stefan Mucker at the wheel is catching a break here. David Calvert-Jones in 10th position, just holding on to that top 10 in the ice brake car. In the classes, brought to you by Pirelli, the Darrell Lea overall, Bell and Chiyo. Then Marcus Marshall in the number 47 Porsche in the Century Batteries class, the Ridges Class C. Peter Lemieux, Marcus Marshall in the 911 GT3 Cup for Century. Peter Lemieux in the Exceed Cup R category for Ridges, the C class leads. Then it's Rob Johnson for GWS Personnel Class D, and Gary Jacobson in the Recaro Class I in that lovely Mark Focus V8. Well, I'm not sure where we put any of our money now, dear viewer and listener. It's all bets are off, and the dash for the 2015 Liqui Moly 12 Hours of Bathurst, and it's live and free here on 7. It's all set up for another dash to the checkered flag that has become almost traditional now at the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12-hour here at Mount Panorama. There is the number 11 Bentley, the one that was slightly out of contention. It's now totally out as it's on the back of the flatty coming back to the paddock. We've had some fantastic racing, Krilsey. This has been brilliant.
Yeah, this is what's gone on in the last couple of hours. There's been so much. The 68 Motorsport Services Porsche, part of the Class B action, caught up in some dramas down at the Michelin Chase, and that's been a busy spot, as has all of the 6,213 metres of this joint today. It's been pretty remarkable stuff. That car recovered and got going again. This was down at the final corner at Maguire's turn. The Hallmark Property Group number 9 car that sits just outside the top 10, and a side-by-side moment with Aaron Zerafos, it was, in the 6 safety stock car that's been in the walls today and in the wall today earlier on, but continues to circulate. Disappointing for them, and that brought out another safety car. Record numbers of safety cars and safety car laps today, but it set up this amazing finish. This was the scariest moment of the day for me. Ivo Brukas in the Mazda V8 Mark Cars Australia entry, square into the wall, but he was straight out of the car, over the fence, like he was running an Olympic sprint, and A-OK. The car, on the other hand, it did its job, but it won't race again. And this was a heart-in-mouth moment for Alex McDowell, the driver of the Craft Bamboo Aston that is in contention for this motor race. Currently sits 5th and only 20 seconds from the race lead. The Icebreak Porsche is a little bit further down the order. David Calvert-Jones behind the wheel, 10th place for this car at the moment. A quick spin for car 12 at the chase that lost them a little bit of time, but they will live to fight another day. It's been a wild old day. While we're under yellow, we'll get some more breaks out of the way. Back to Bathurst very soon.
Well, Mount Panorama is a venue that just keeps delivering. It doesn't matter what the cars, what the racing, whether it's a 20-minute sprint, whether it's a classic motor race like the racing at Easter when we get the Holden HQs here, one of my favourite Aussie race series for tin tops, or whether it's here with the high-tech, high-speed international race field that we have once again come down to just under 40 minutes. And Matthew Bell, will bring the field round in the M Sport Bentley to restart. The green flag is in the hand of the marshal just to our right-hand side, and it's under now the control of Matt. He's got the whole field breathing down his neck. Laurent Vanteur, we've got Chio behind him, LeBrock, Munger, Ortelli, Monterney, Russell, Villander, Calvert-Jones and Brabham. That's the top 11 as we go back to green flag racing with just under 39 minutes to go in the 2015 Liquid Moly 12 Hours of Bathurst. And Matt Bell got the timing just about right. Oh, joining from the pit lane, one of the RX-7 tube frame cars right into the middle of the melee at the front of the field, but that has been avoided by everyone. Nice driving for the whole of the guys. The RX-8s are the tube frame cars, thanks Krilsey. That was a textbook restart. He didn't get the advantage, Krilsey, of cars in between him and Vanteur, but he's done what he needed to do and held his line through Hell Corner and up the hill.
We've spoken throughout the day that we're not 100% convinced that the Bentley has the race pace, the outright raw speed to go with the number 15 Audi, which has been the fastest car around Mount Panorama all weekend long. Fastest lap of the race, fastest in qualifying with the fastest ever time we've seen recorded here. So the gap 0.4 of a second, but they're locked together. Where and when does Laurens Vanthoor launch his attack on the British driver that sits in front of him?
And there's going to be a long time before Matt Bell gets any kind of relief from the cars chasing. 14 cars between this pair of cars and the chasing 3. Flashing the lights, Laurens Vanteur, that's not going to work with Matt Bell. I don't see him pulling over anytime soon.
Oh, how close was Vanteur to the wall there on driver's left? And this is the 8 car, David Brabham, would you believe it? Brabham's been claimed by the cutting, and another cutting slap will bring out surely another safety car. Yellows breed yellows, and it's all going wrong for the team that was sitting just outside the top 10 and in a podium position in Class AA. And David Brabham is in the wall with the Bentley. What a disaster for the Flying B team, who were creeping back into contention and sitting in a podium position in class. David is, I think, trying to get the car turned over. The marshal saying, can you get it restarted? And Brabs is in the wall. This doesn't affect what's going on at the front of the field, as the safety car has been scrambled. And the MG Mercedes-Benz 63, the CLS, that beautiful silver car, is back out on the circuit, and we will neutralise the race immediately. Hashtag B12HR. Let's have your predictions on that now for who's going to win this. It's still any one of the top 6's race as we head into the last half an hour. How much green flag are we going to get?
14 cars between the lead 2 and the chasing Nissan before this safety car came out. It's 8 cars now, so ground has been made up. That might actually work in Matt Bell's favour.
Yes. Just happens. He's just saved himself some fuel, hasn't he? The way it goes, he can turn it up to 11 now in the Bentley. Well, David Brabham in the wall at the cutting. The cutting slap has claimed another victim, and it is the Flying Bee, Bentley. That's going to leave us with a little over half an hour of racing to go in this year's Bathurst. The Liqui Moly, 12 hours. It's live and free on 7. Don't go away. Well, very sad sight of David Brabham's car in the wall at the cutting. Let's head straight down to the rest of the Bentley team. They are leading this race, and this has just nullified their 4.5-second lead. Shea Adam.
Bentley is leading, and the Bentley who is leading is the number 10, Guy Smith. It's your teammate, Matt Bell, who is currently at the head of the field. He was feeling a bit ill earlier, but we heard he was all better, and now you guys are out front. Did you think that you would be here after 11.5 hours of racing?
I think we hoped we'd be here. I mean, the plan always was to be in a position where you're on the lead lap, you know, with the final couple of hours to go, and certainly we're in a great position right now. But it's, you know, Audi and Lawrence are very, very strong. Matt's doing a fantastic job. It's going to be a tall order to stay in front, but you know, pretty confident. So we'll see what we can do.
There was a bittersweet cheer that went out when the safety car came out because of David Brabham's incident. Can you now make it on fuel?
Yeah, I mean, everything seems to be good. I think all the cars now pretty much can go to the end, it looks like, from what we can see. Lawrence came in and put new tyres on, whereas Matt's, I don't know what tyres Matt's on, but I mean, it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough for him because the Audi's been incredibly strong all weekend. But, you know, the Bentley GT3 continues to surprise, and it's been great to us today, so let's hope he can hold on to the end.
Done a great job so far and only has under 30 minutes to go until you get on the podium.
Well, we've been trying to make sure that you don't miss any of the racing all through our coverage here on 7, and we're going to break away now for our final time. And when we come back, we will be green, hopefully through to the end of the race. But whatever happens on the track, you'll see it all as we go to the checkered flag next on 7 from Bathurst. Well, a record crowd here at Mount Panorama for the Summer Classic, as we're going to be calling it now. The 2015 Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 Hours attracted over 32,000 spectators over the past 3 days, and 3 very excited ones in the commentary booth. Myself, Richard Craill and Graham Goodwin are waiting to see the denouement of the last 11.5 hours. David Brabham getting a little bit of attention from the medical team, just precautionary up at the top of the cutting there. The number 8 Flying Bee Bentley in the wall, in the blue paint there. Another one of the cutting slab. Now look just at the top of the screen here as he comes through. Let's wait for the number 8 car. Let's see what happens. The Aston Martin down the inside. That's a bold move. Is that what sets it off? Oh, yes, it is. And Brabs has nowhere to stop. And that was a little bit of a hip check that was unnecessary there, Krailsey. That is not a place you can go too wide.
That was the 97 car, wasn't it? Was that Stefan Mucker?
It was Stefan Mucker. It was Stefan Mucker, and
4th place car.
The race director will have seen that video too, as Brabs went off, and there's no room there to get the car slowed down. That's the issue. Now at the head of the field, Matt Bell has had a little bit of help, lost his 4.5 second lead, but now is fueled to go and can turn it up to full rich.
There's some nervous boys down at Phoenix Racing.
Laurent Vantour is doing their job for them at the moment. It must be horrible. You know, you've done your bit and you're sitting there, there's nothing for you to do now.
They've both done an amazing job on the left, Marco Mappelli on the right. Marcus Winkelhock.
Worst place in the world at the moment, I'd have thought. Worst place in the world.
What about these boys in Bentley?
They just don't know either, do they? They're hoping and praying. They're going to get a great result, but are they going to get a top step result?
Trying to show some British reserve there, boys. Very well done. Stiff upper lip and all that.
Matt Bell, Laurent Vantour, and the third in the triumvirate at the top of the field. And the third different manufacturer. We've got Bentley, we've got Audi, and Nissan as well in there. The Nismo Global Athlete team, RGN's Bob and Liz Neville running that team, made up by the majority of that team is made up by the gamers who've come through the GT Academy, and they will be wondering if they can turn virtual success into a real life trophy. There is Matthew Bell. I'm not sure whether this is good for him going slowly. He won't be getting the air force through the car. Remember, he was dehydrated earlier on. Stefan Mugger in 4th place for Aston Martin. He's on the lead lap, as well as 5th place Jacques Lebrock for the Erebus Mercedes-Benz team. Been a brilliant party atmosphere. Lots of families out here as well, enjoying the motor racing in the Summer Classic here at Bathurst. The grandstand seats were sold out some time ago. If you want one for next year, I think I might be on the website tomorrow if I were you.
And judging by Twitter and all that's going on online, it looks like the racing world is tuning in at the moment.
Yeah, and not just fans. We're talking teams and drivers and the guys building racing cars all around the world who are doing all kinds of weird shifts and on different times are all tuned in to this 7 coverage live from the Liqui Moly Bathurst. 12 hours. This must be... Well, you see, in some ways it's great, in some ways it's horrible. Am I going to get to the end of the race? No, I'm not. Not behind the safety car. I will have to race again. Right, I better get myself ready. Am I in the right gear? Am I on the right setting? Don't run into the back of the safety car, Matt. Tiny little lapses of concentration. Race cars are difficult to drive slow. They don't feel good. And Matthew Bell has got all this going through his mind. Can he hold on to it, guys? Come on. Well, look, put your neck on the line, Krills.
It is every bit a chance to do so at this place. 22 minutes on the clock. The finish is 5:48 plus 1 lap. So after the first car goes across the line, after 5:48, it is 1 more lap. Mark Beretta down in pit lane. Must be stressful down there, Barretts.
Oh, that is an understatement about stressful. Obviously, as Laurens Vantour is out in the number 15 car, his 2 co-drivers are here in the garage watching on. Marco, how are the nerves?
Yeah, it's pretty high, actually. There's still 20 minutes to go. We don't know if the safety car will go out, so let's tape our finger crosses and let's see how it's going.
Mark, it's been a great team effort by the 3 of you today. Do you think you can hold on? Can you win this race?
Yeah, for sure. We will give 100% till the checkered flag, and then we will see where we end up. But as I said, we are a really good driver lineup, and we had a really strong team behind us the whole race, and we gave everything, and we don't give up until the checkered flag, as I said. So let's cross the fingers.
Is Laurens saying anything about the car? How's the car holding up at this stage of the race? It's been a long day.
Yeah, the car is fine. Felt really good, especially in the morning. We were pretty fast when it was cold. Now we are struggling a little bit at straight line speed when the temperature went up. And then I think this will be our problem for the last laps in the race. The car is very fast over the hills, in the fast corners. Just straight line speed is our big problem in the moment. So that's why I think it's going to be tough.
Marco, what would it mean to you to win this race?
Of course, it's one of the best endurance races all over. So for sure, with this guy, with this team, it's going to be a lot.
And is Laurens the man to bring it home for you?
Yeah, absolutely. He stays in the car and he will give 100%, as I said. And we told him to push maximum, and then we just hope that we're gonna end up on the podium on top.
Good. Well, we look forward to a great finish, guys. Well done on your efforts today, and good luck to bring it home. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barretts. fingernail chewing time down there. And if you're wondering why everyone is so tense, it's because the racing has been so tight. Mistakes are plenty though as well, Crailsey.
Yeah, it has. It's been that kind of day, and that's what's set up this amazing grandstand finish once again to a motor race at Mount Panorama. This was the issue down at Maguire's turn. The safety stop car came to a safe stop in the gravel trap, the sand trap, all on its own, just lost the rear end and spun around. These are the most recent highlights from the very end. Probably not so much highlights as moments, I think is the term we should be using, because some of them not highlights for the teams involved. This was across the top of the mountain, certainly not a highlight.
Ivo Brukis, though, amazingly got out of this. There are banded tyres behind the belt there, and they dissipated some of the impact. Not all of it, but the tube frame and the Mark Cars Australia V8 Mazda 3 did the rest of the job. How costly might this be for the 97 Aston Martin? It was Alex McDowell on board when he made the mistake at Griffins. And also been an eventful day for the leading Porsche.
Yeah, spin for the ice brake car just inside the top 10 still. David Calvert-Jones behind the wheel. Great job by Chris Pither and Patrick Long in that car.
Now this was a bit rude, I think, by Mucker on Brabham. He got in there and he had nowhere to go, and had nowhere to go than to give a little tap to Brabs, put Brabs in the wall pretty hard. That might be a penalty. We wait to hear how that's been assessed by the race director.
Right, let's just run through where we're at. A Bentley leads the motor race.
Yep.
They've never won anything at Mount Panorama. In second place is Audi, the factory Audi sport team. Phoenix Racing is running that car. They've won here twice. They are the form team. In third place is Nissan. They last won a major race here, as we confirm the Michelin hourly update for you on your screen right now. They last won a major race here in 1992. We're on the podium here last October. Would be desperate for a victory. Aston Martin in fourth, have never won anything here. The last time a 12-cylinder car won here, it was 1985. And in fifth place is Erebus Motorsport. They were second here in 2012. First in 2013 and third last year. They are a form team at Mount Panorama. It's all to play for. Everyone in the top 5 has got something to fight for in these final 17 minutes.
And it's not just about the top of the charts either, because in the classes there have been battles all day, and the rest of the field under our Pirelli class update, well, Matt Bell and Chio, we know. Marcus Marshall, they're going for a victory in the Century Batteries B class in that Porsche 911 GT Cup car. Tony Alford, they've weathered the storm, and the 54 Lotus looks good for the Richards Class C. Rob Thompson in the BMW Coupe, the 1 Series car, he's back in the mountain, has been driving Aston Martins in the past in a BMW here for the GWS Personnel D class. And Gary Jacobson is still at the wheel. Has somebody super glued him into the Recaro Class I leader? Because he seems to have been there for a very long time.
Cars are coming across top of the mountain. Just keeping an eye on Twitter at the moment, and there is the most Bentley tweet I can possibly imagine here. I'm going to read it out verbatim. Let's be clear, staying ahead of Laurens Francoeur is a very tricky thing. We can be sure that Matt Bell Racing will be trying his hardest.
Yes.
Well done, Bentley.
There has been a cracking social interaction between the teams, the drivers, the manufacturers, and of course you, the audience, across the weekend here and throughout the day here, live and free on 7, bringing you unrivaled access to the Summer Classic and the first big Australian event in motorsport.
Lights are out.
This summer, the lights are out on the safety car. And now Matt Bell has got to go from cruise mode into qualifying mode with nothing in between. When you go to work on a morning, you probably have a cup of coffee, read the newspaper and chat with your friends. There's none of that here. It's straight into it for Matt Bell. He's got to turn it straight on. No warm-up, no stretching. Get the brain into gear, make sure you're ready to go. We are going to green this time around. The AMG Mercedes-Benz safety car is gone. Matt Bell, the man from Newcastle, behind the wheel of the Bentley, has Laurent Vantour, the fastest man ever, over the top of the mountain, and the fastest time ever recorded by that Audi in second place. We're going to the flag now here on 7, live and free from Bathurst. Mount Panorama delivers again another nail-biting finish, and the V8 Bentley starts to rev. We've got the best drivers in the world right here, right now, racing for 2015's first big Australian prize, and Matt Bell defends into Hell Corner for the first time, but he goes a little wide, and Vanthoor tries to do the over and under. He's got a tiny bit of overlap. He's going to try and come Buffalo Gals round the outside. If he can do that into Griffin's Bend, he deserves to win this race. He's pulled alongside. He's nosed ahead, but Bell on the inside surely can hold on. The big Bentley has got to break super late. He's offline though. Can he hold on to it? This is magnificent stuff. And watch the second of the cars behind. That's not in the fight for the lead, but he could get involved in it if they're not careful. That was cool driving by both.
Carbon copy of 2015. Squeeze the car on the outside wide to the curb, and you will have the right of way on the inside line. It is the place to be there, but you've got to go brave and deep up into Griffin's Bend. Great defensive driving by Matt Bell, but Laurens Vanthoor has been the fastest driver all weekend, continues to apply the pressure. We go back 7 cars to find the Nissan G, 5 cars. He's already got 2 to find the Nissan GTR, but look how good the Audi R8 is across the top. That's been its key strength all weekend long. So I'm looking at Falcon Tyre's elbow for a move from Laurens Vanthoor, because across the top, through the slow stuff and the aero stuff, is where this car has been its strongest. Watch it down here. Key overtaking opportunity down the outside, but Bell defends. Vanthoor will have a good run down the straight, and there's nothing between these two in a straight line.
Remember what the teammates to Laurens Vanthoor in that Audi was saying. They've lost a bit of top end since it got warmer here. The Bentley seems to gain a bit. And don't forget Chio-san in the 35. He is catching. I saw the headlights there in the background. Looks stoic. Now just 4 positions between these two and the third place car. And Matt Bell is doing a lot of defending here. He's trying to get the temps up on the Michelin tyres and get this Bentley back in its operating window. He's already to drivers left coming down into the final corner at Maguire's, and all of this is backing the field up. And here comes Chio down the inside. He's going to be on the back of these guys in another lap, and if that, the way that's going at the moment. He's now only got 3 cars between him and this battle for the lead into Hell Corner and up Mountain Straight another time. Now will Matty Bell be able to hold on to it again? He takes the slightly defensive line. This time Vanthoor stays behind and in the gap in the air.
If Matt Bell keeps driving like this, Chio is going to be on this battle for the race lead. He will be there, and the Nissan will buy into it, and we'll have a 3-way fight for the race victory. This time, Vanthoor sticks behind the leader. 1 car, it's that Audi.
There he is.
JMAC PEM Racing Audi is in this. And it's a lapped car. It may be a deciding lapped car. It'll need to let Chio by very, very quickly. And the Nissan GTR has cruised on the leading battle. Slow out of the cutting and a nudge from the Audi. He gave the Bentley a whack there. Slow drive onto the top of the mountain, but it's helped the Bentley, if anything. And there's a car length between the two of them.
It's like the old swing by when you're doing the velodrome racing, isn't it? Get your mate a little bit further up the road, and for once there's a bit of clear grey tarmac between the leader and second place man. Here comes Chio up on that lap Audi. Look, a couple of cars back as they go over the 7 News Skyline area down into the S's. This is as much breathing space as Matt has had since the restart. Stefan Bucken not in the fight at the moment. He's he's catching up now to Chio, and he's only another second further back. You know, we could have 4 guys battling for this in half a lap's time.
But who's going to be quickest down the mountain? Because all day it's been the Nissan. He's right there with that lapped car between. If he can pull past that, use that toe, he's going to be right with these two.
He's through.
Get into the final 10 minutes of this race.
It's fingernail biting time, but not those. They're too highly manicured as first, second and third are now together.
The Audi did the right thing, just pulled to the side, lifted off and let the Nissan go. He is in this fight. How hard is Matt Bell driving car 10? You will not see a car more grip limited as that was across the top of Mount Panorama.
Here comes the Aston Martin too. He's just got 2 cars between him and the Nissan now. It could be 4 cars.
It's going to be a quartet battling for this 2015 top step. Now is the time to take stock, to breathe in. What have you got left in the fast locker? It's time to open the bottom drawer, take it out and throw it at Mount Panorama. There's no sense in leaving it behind. Look, there is 2 cars back from this triple battle for the lead. Heading up Mountain Straight one more time. Here comes Chio in the Nissan. He's going to have to go the long way around. He's almost got the left wheels on the grass as they go up to Griffins. I think he's got alongside. He surely can't get through from there, but he'll cut back onto the right-hand side. Man, that Nissan's quick.
Watch it down Conrod Straight, because we know the Audi isn't the fastest car in a straight line.
No, and remember the patience that Chio showed earlier on going through traffic when he was in 3rd and 4th position. That's gone out the window now. He wants to be at the front because he knows a fast Aston Martin and a fast Aston Martin works driver in Stefan Mucker is coming up the hill.
Safety car.
Safety car is out. Safety car is out. That could be it. Oh, we've been robbed. We've been robbed here of a finish. Goodness me, it's the leader in Class B. Second place in Class B, the Century Batteries GT3 car has been chasing down the 47, the other Porsche, and it looks as though he's beached it. Oh, and he's done it on his own as well, trying to take too much speed in, tyres not up to temps, and that car, without a snatch tractor down there, that car is stuck, and it looks like we may finish this one under full course caution. And Nissan will be cursing their luck. They got the brake on the last one.
The tractor is already at the car, so they'll get that pulled out very quickly.
Is the yellow flags here? Yes. Because these guys are still racing, are they?
No, they're fine.
No, the yellow flags are out. Thank you.
Marshals are running to that car. We may yet get this back to green.
Yeah, the snatch tractor is already there. This is marvellous stuff. They were at the back of the
race control. Race control will do everything in their power to have this race finish under green, even if it is a one-lap dash to the flag.
Oh my goodness me, that is going to be carnage.
If it is a one-lap dash to the flag, on what odds a Nissan victory? You just get the feeling there's something special left in car 35. Leaders across the line. They'll be picked up by the Mercedes-Benz safety car. The Grove car will be out of the sand trap in 35 seconds. It may just be this one lap under safety car. There are still 7 minutes and 55 seconds on the race clock.
I was going to say, did the safety car actually come out? It has done. But there's nothing to say that it can't go straight in at the end of this lap.
No.
And the guys are working like Trojans down at Maguire's corner, at Murray's, the final corner. And Matt Bell is going to have to do it all again.
It's on the move. Porsche is on the move.
This helps Matt Bell. I'm convinced this helps Matt Bell.
Really?
It's 1 or 2 less laps. He has to defend. The safety car's doing his defence for him because Lawrence Vanthoor cannot pass while they're under yellow.
Oh, brilliant stuff from the marshals.
And you know what? Away again.
They haven't even pulled him out of the way. They're going to give him the opportunity to drive on if he can, get it going. And the Grove car is out and away and being told to get off the circuit. And what they're doing there is getting rid of all the rubbish from underneath the car before he rejoins. That is such smart officiating and driving.
6:55 to go.
On the left-hand side, Matt Bell in the Bentley. On the right-hand side is the Chio Monster, as we're going to be calling him now. 3rd place. In the middle of the pair of them is Laurent Vanthoor. Stefan Mucker, 2 cars further back, has Jacques Leblanc and Andrea Montermini right behind him. The problem for Montermini is he's a lap off the lead, but we've got the 5 lead lap cars within about 3 seconds.
Which equals a record set last year. 5 cars under the lead lap at the end of last year's race was a race record. So we've done that again, and at the same time, it's Bentley, Audi, Nissan, Aston Martin, Mercedes. 5 different brands fighting for the Liqui Bathurst 12 hour. There's a Ferrari in 6th. There's a Lamborghini in 7th. There's 7 different brands in the top 7 of the 9 represented in the outright GT3 class.
6 minutes on the clock, John. 6 minutes on the clock.
I give you 6 minutes, 7 different manufacturers, and variety aplenty at the 2015 Liqui Bathurst 12 hours, live and free on 7 and through to the checkered flag. And from race control, we're going this time around. Brilliant officiating.
Bad sportsmanship flag was shown just before the safety car to Matt Bell for excessive blocking, we believe, which is what they usually show it for.
Okay.
I would have thought gloves are off with 5 and a bit minutes to go. Don't worry about that, Matt. You drive that thing on the inside white line if you have to. We think 2 laps. It's 5:48 plus 1 lap for the leader. It's currently 5:44 local Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the country, around the world, there is no better place to be than in front of the Channel 7 feed to watch the final throw of the 2015 Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 Hours.
Is this not the best place in the world? Mount Panorama, time and time and time again, delivers amazing motor racing. 4 and a bit minutes to go. 7 brands in the top 7, 5 fighting for victory after 12 of the most brutal hours you will ever see at this place.
And 3 line astern as they come to what we hope will be the final green flag. Let's keep this green. Let's see this one. Guy Smith, they will never have seen anything like this. It's an honour and a privilege to be trackside now and calling this one for you as Matt Bell has to do it all again. The green flag waving, but it's Matt Bell who's controlling the pace of the field. Now take a deep breath, suck it up fellas, because you've got 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 8 seconds to do. Don't take a breath. Oh, Chio's gone through. Brilliant piece of timing. If that stands, it's brilliant, and he's up into second place. I don't think there was an overlap on the line, and he's going to go for the lead through Hell Corner. He's already in the slipstream of the big Bentley. The 2 biggest, widest, meanest, hairiest cars are going head to head on the mountain straight.
This is astonishing stuff from Chio-san. The fiery young Japanese driver goes to the lead.
That is remarkable. He's done 2 of them, and not at Griffin Corner yet. 3:36 on the clock, and Nissan leads on the mountain. The GTR Godzilla has eaten the field to now, and they are back with a vengeance.
Absolutely astonishing stuff. That was perfectly timed from Chio as they crossed the line. He absolutely blasted by the Audis and went down to turn 1 and did the same again in turn 3 to the Bentley. Amazing stuff. Can he keep it together?
Military settings on the Nissan now. It's pedal to the metal, and he's pulled out 5, 6, 10 cars lengths as he goes across. We can hear the spectators clapping as he goes across. This is going to be a famous victory. Vantour for second place on the big Bentley, who has hung out for so long. Matt Bell will be desperate to hold on to this one. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it down Conrod Straight.
Vantour will drive underneath the Bentley if he has to. He's got the fastest car here. Absolutely on the limit, down into the elbow, and squeezes him wide, and they'll drag race down Conrod Straight. Not quite. Bell holds on, and the big Bentley is doing the business in the fight for the podium.
There's going to be another lap, maybe another 2 here, guys. Look at the time, 2:24. It's going to be close to whether they do one more after this, and it'll all be down to when Chio crosses the line. The blue flag's been waved.
The Nissan's gone.
The Bentley locking up there, or was it some fluid coming out the back? There was certainly something on the back wheels.
I think that was a touch earlier at the top of Conrod Straight from the Audi on the back of the Bentley. I think we've got some touching bodywork there.
Coming round with 2:03, 2:02. This is going to be it. It's 48 on the clock, plus 1 lap, and the white flag is out, or it would be if we were in the US. 1 more to go down to the first corner, and watch out for the battle further down as well.
Because Knocker, John, he's catching the Audi for 3rd position.
Yeah, and he's hauled him in the last lap, and Vantour just doesn't quite have the ultimate pace he had last time. 1:37 on the clock will confirm 100% if this is the last lap. But Chio is driving up the road. The Nissan GTR, it won here in 91, it won here in 92, has not touched the podium since then. Somewhere in the world, Darren Cox, the boss of motorsport for Nissan, will be having kittens.
It's 6:48 in the morning in the UK. DC's just closed on his new house. He's celebrating that. He's celebrating an LMP1 programme, and in about a lap's time, he will be celebrating a victory here. The GT Academy graduates with Chio have pulled off a remarkable masterstroke. Bob Neville and RJN with the Nismo Global Athlete team have put it to the best in the world. They've taken on the mountain. They've beaten them all. And at the moment, it's Chio by a couple of seconds, and then the battle for second, third and fourth. There's 2 more steps on the podium, and it's musical chairs here, and when the music stops, some one of these 3 is going to be left without a sit.
That is huge.
It's come round the outside. Vantour has come around the corner and almost got it in. Here comes Mucker. Mucker is right in the slipstream as well.
This is astonishing. For the final spot on the podium, Stefan Mucker drives the Aston Martin round the Audi R8 down Conrod Straight. He's in the top of the Bentley. It's helped him get by in the Aston's third. Final lap. Leader is on the last lap.
Vanthoor comes for a huge long way back into the Michelin chase. He tries to go around the inside. Chio's ahead of all this and is going to win for Nismo. But who's going to be second, third and fourth? There's still one big braking area to come. Once again, Bathurst delivers a great finish, and it's a Nismo GTR that wins it for Nissan. Chio wins it. Second, third and fourth across the line.
Bell dropped to fourth right at the last turn. The Audi finishes the race second place, and then the Aston Martin comes home third. Matt Bell lost all his momentum in the final turn.
He went wide coming out of the final corner. That is remarkable stuff. And that is a popular victory from the 32,000 people who've been here this weekend. And the Nismo flags are out in pit lane. And an AM-class car wins overall. And Shea Adam is down in the pit lane. There's a lot of smiling GT Academy graduates there, Shea.
Florian, this is simply amazing. 2 years ago, you weren't even racing, and now you've won the 12 Hours of Bathurst. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's like I almost can't believe it. I really, Gio put just the hammer down, and after the last safety car, and he was immediately at the back of the other cars in front, and I can't almost breathe. You know, it's hard. We were a little bit disappointed to be in third at this point and so far away. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's just amazing, you know. I think nobody of us would expect to win here, but yeah, it just feels amazing, and I think we have a big celebration tonight.
I think it's well deserved, and Darren Cox is going to be very, very proud of you and Wolfie and Chio.
Congratulations to Alex and Gemma for the newborn child. Really well done, and I hope, yeah, I'm pretty lucky, you know. In the end, it worked out, and unfortunately, Alex couldn't do any better, so we're first. That's good. So yeah, we'll just celebrate tonight. Thank you very much.
Well done.
I think young Austin might be getting another name, Chio.
He might have been woken up earlier than he would normally get up, I think.
Contact on the final corner for Matt Bell, pushed down to fourth position. Godzilla wins on the mountain. This is a huge year for Nismo globally with the launch of their LMP1 GTR Challenger. And they have not deserted the rest of motorsport, and they stayed true to their roots with the GTR coming back and the GT3 version taking a huge win here.
We said back on lap 245 when Craft Bamboo Racing put Stefan Mucker in that car, watch out for the Aston Martin. Didn't he deliver?
Wow.
He came from the clouds to finish third, and that is truly a remarkable finish at this place again.
Well, two young men there, both graduates of the GT Academy, the Nissan GT Academy, both computer gamers, now full professional race drivers, both played a full part, but the final knock into that race, Katsumasa Chio, that was extraordinary stuff.
Yes, mate. 269 laps, 1,671 kilometres completed today. By no means a record, in fact. It's only one lap further than the shortest ever GT Bathurst 12 hour, but who cares? Let's be honest, that was the most remarkable of finishes again.
Gojila, king of the mountain once again. The GTR is back. How do you write that down? Unbelievable stuff. 12 hours elapsed and a wee bit more, and a big outpouring of breath from Chio. Let's have a look again, and there you can quite clearly see that was a clear restart. There was no overlap on the line there for the Nissan. They'll be looking at that carefully, and Chio already through into second and then tried to go through into the lead and did it.
The Maguire's replay shows it well. We've talked up the straight line speed all day long. I really need to see what happened in that final corner for second and third, though. For a moment there, it looked like the Audi might have fallen off the road as well. But as it was, Vanthoor got home in second, which is an amazing result for that team that has been the fastest car all weekend and probably one of the strongest too.
And we would not have had that finish, we would not have had that excitement had the race officials and the hard-working marshals got the Porsche out of the gravel on the final corner. Gentlemen and ladies, we salute your work this weekend. You have given us the end to this motor race that it richly deserved. And Katsumasa Chio is the man in the car at the end who will take the plaudits in the Darrell Lea overall, winning the AM class, winning the Pro class. Lauren Vanter and the rest of the 15 Phoenix Racing Audi team ahead of Aston Martin Vantage. Also in the Pro category, Stefan Mucker bringing that one home. And third in the AP, fourth, and perhaps the unluckiest place to be, just off the overall podium, Matt Bell and the M Sport Bentley team. What a result for Erebus. They rolled the dice early. Jack LeBrock coming home in 6th position. Second in the AM category for the 49 squad, and Andrea Montermini. And third in that AMS category, by the way, in 10th position, Chris Meese in the number 9 Audi.
Do you think Bentley will be back after finishing 4th at Mount Panorama?
Oh, yeah.
Do they have something to prove now? They led this race.
What about the
final restart?
Let's have a look at the other categories as well, because there were other races out there in the classes.
Just confirming, John, 7 different brands inside the top 7. Nissan, Audi, Aston Martin, Bentley, Mercedes, Ferrari, Lamborghini, then another Ferrari and 2 Audis rounding out the top 10. Phoenix Racing get 2 cars home inside the 10. The class winners, we know the Class A Pro and Class A Amateur winners. Class B, well done, Team Superbarn Supermarkets with Marcus Marshall, James and Theo Konduras and Sam Power. They win the Century Batteries Porsche GT3 Cup cars. The Donut King Nissan got there in Ridges Class C. Tony Alford's squad got there. The Berwick Linton entry, the BMW 1 Series 1M Coupe in GWS Personnel Class D, and the Mark Focus that has been the class of the Recaro Invitationals took it home. Car number 93, Gary Jacobson at the wheel towards the end, did an outstanding job.
There are some very happy Nismo graduates coming down just underneath our box at the moment. The flags will go up onto the podium as well. This has been one for the ages. Yes, we've had interruption to the flow of the race because of the incidents, but that is all about sticking to it to the end. And what does endurance mean? Being there at the end and being in the right position. And Nissan Nismo have done it all perfectly well this weekend for RJN and for the rest of the Nismo Athlete Global team. This is a famous victory and a fantastic start to the motorsport year for the Nismo team, who have got such a big year coming to them. Back to Le Mans in the top class, and they start 2015 in the best possible way. Graham Goodwin, give me 3 words to describe this.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Crailsey.
Unbelievable. What an amazing race. Well called by yourself, sir, and you, Graham. What a great day. Nissan have won on Mount Panorama once again for the first time since 1992.
Well, quite clearly, the Godzilla is back in natural habitat. Well done to Shea down in the pit lane. It'll be Barrett's coming to you in a moment. Thanks to everybody who's put this together and all of the interaction from around the world. Hashtag B12HR has broken the internet. Guys, it's been an honour and a privilege. Let's head down to Mark Barretta to wrap things up from the mountain.
Guys, thank you very much and a fantastic job. Well done all weekend. What we have seen today has been nothing short of remarkable. If you love motorsport, if you love racing, today has been incredible. 169 drivers came here from 15 nations, and they have put on an incredible feast for us here today. Whoever you support, hope you've enjoyed it. The Liqui Moly Bathurst 12-hour race is delivered once again. We can't wait till next year. It's been great to be a part of it. We've all enjoyed it. The great spirit here on the mountain, the incredible racing. It has been one to remember. And don't forget that record crowd as well, who are enjoying the podium presentation here too. We're going to go to that very shortly, but thanks for your company. Hope you've enjoyed it on the 7 Network right around Australia. We'll see you soon. Until then, take care and bye-bye.
Waiting for the green flag, and the first of the big classics is underway. Oh, he got slapped. He got hit. Oh, it's another Bentley bump.
That is a very big crash. Oh no, down the inside. That is a monster crash.
Bathurst delivers a great finish. finish, and it's a dismal GTR that wins it for Nissan. Chio wins it.